From a disturbing end of female influencers
I'm so are you serious? Yes, you piss me off so fucking much.
to more than 20 creators refusing to pay $60,000 rent of their mansion.
Anyone who's ever been a part of Hype House will not tell you, like, what happened.
What happens in Hype House
But
stays.
These are the dramatic downfalls of creators who came together to entertain viewers, starting with Bop House, where female creators joined hands only to fall apart in the end.
I've explained so many times how I fucking felt. Nobody listens to me. What else am I supposed to do? Y'all make me feel fucking crazy.
Picture this. You're scrolling through TikTok minding your own business when suddenly a video pops up. Bright neon lights, a luxurious Miami mansion, and a group of young women laughing, dancing, and lip-syncing to a trending sound. The vibe is fun, the energy is high, and for a second you think, all right, just another content house, no big deal. But then, something feels off. Maybe it's the fact that their biggest critics aren't just people who don't get it, but those who believe there's something deeply wrong with what's happening behind the scenes. In today's video, we're going to talk about a place just like this, the Bop House, a name that, if you've been on TikTok recently, you've probably heard a lot. It's been called Gen Z's Playboy Mansion, a content house where young influencers rake in millions, living the dream, or at least that's what they want you to believe. But the digger you deep, the messier it gets.
I'm snowmobiling. What are you doing?
I'm riding a horse. What are you doing? I'm doing a TikTok dance. What are you doing?
I'm leaning back with it. What are you doing? I'm pulling that blonde bitch's hair. What are you doing? I'm ripping that bald-head stalker out of the house. What are you doing?
Oh. All right, I'm hula hooping. What are you doing? I'm riding it. What are you doing?
I'm surfing. What are you doing? I'm hula girl dancing. What are you doing? I'm belly dancing. What are you doing?
I'm Tyler dancing.
What are you doing? I'm petting my cat. What are you doing? I am reviewing the Bop House applications. What are you doing?
I'm petting Camilla's dogs. What are you doing? I'm file a restraining order. What are you doing?
I'm touching my yitties. What are you doing?
I'm touching a stripper. What are you doing?
Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, boppity bop. I like it the way that you boppity bop.
So what exactly is the Bop House? Who's running it? Who's inside? And why has it become one of the most controversial spaces on the internet? Let's take a deep dive into the controversies of TikTok's shadiest content house. If you're one of the innocent ones and don't already know about it, the Bop House is a content creator collective based in Miami, Florida, that has garnered significant attention since its inception in December 2024. Founded by OnlyFans influencers Sophie Rain and Sophie, the house serves as a collaborative space for female content creators to produce and share material across various platforms, including TikTok and Instagram. The name Bop House is derived from the slang term bop, which is an abbreviation for blown out. Yeah, we have a feeling we'll be censoring a hell of a lot of words in today's video. Anyways, according to Wikipedia, bop is a derogatory term, usually for females, suggesting excessive flirtatiousness or promiscuity. Trust us when we tell you guys that Wikipedia is putting it in very polite words. The term is more offensive than you can imagine. Some say it's a name for women who would give their head to anyone, while others use this term for women who dress a certain way.
Okay, so I made a video 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, that was trying to figure out what a bop was. And I Googled it and I ended up with like Bureau of Proclamation and different ideas of like a bebop, boop, boop, you know, meaning that a bop was a really good song because during the pandemic, a bop was like really popular. Ooh, that's a bop, right? And then this person, apparently that video's been blowing up, and then this person comes back and replies to the video and says, Urban Dictionary definition, a name to call a female who gives head to anyone, called a bop because when they give head, they bop their heads. Wow. That's really changed since Gen Y and millennials have been on this earth. I don't know who thought of that, but we need something here.
Yes, there are various different meanings of this term, and it's safe to say that they're all equally disgusting. So if you haven't put it together yet, Bop House is, well, a house of bops. Basically a bunch of seemingly young-looking women who are self-proclaimed bops.
So, then you come on the street, then you had a kind of better taste. So hard, and rings like a skitty, right, hit it, flip it, flip it, you ready to say, oh.
All of the women who are part of this house are OF creators and are distributing explicit pictures or videos of some nature. Now, we're not sure if these are all members of the Bop House. However, we have compiled a short list including some of the initial members. So first off, we have Sophie Rain, who is 20 years old.
And if you want it, if I hate you, fuck you.
She has been one of the most popular members of the Bop House. Some of the other members of the Bop House include 19-year-old Joy May and 22-year-old Camille Arreo. There's also Ava Reyes, who is again only 19, Summer, who is 20, Julia, Alina, and Aisha, who are all 20 to 23 years old. The reason we told you guys their age is because we found it kind of weird that most of the creators in this house are actually very young looking. This is alarming for a number of reasons. First off, they portray a very luxurious picture of their lifestyle. When they started the Bop House, they rented this huge Airbnb mansion that implies how lavishly they're living while being OF models.
All right, how much did you make last month?
6 million.
All right, next person. That was underwhelming. I don't even. Aisha, how much did you make last month?
Like around 2.5 mil.
Do you feel poor yet?
Because I do.
How much did you make last month?
1 million.
All right, next person. Okay, how much did you make last month?
I just made 100K last month.
Yes! Okay. Jujubeen, how much did you make last month? $600. Okay. Wow. Remember when we used to
Because
be
of you!
I wouldn't be here without you.
The reason why this is an issue is because this idea is actually influencing a lot of young girls. Their content, while framed as fun and empowering, subtly pushes the idea that financial success and social status come from platforms like OnlyFans. Young girls aren't just watching viral dance videos and glamorous lifestyles. They're being conditioned to believe that selling access to their bodies is the fastest way to success. And we can't stress enough how dangerous this message is. Another reason why people are uncomfortable when it comes to their age is that it is to some extent encouraging some really creepy, pedophilic people with weird fantasies. If you go to their TikTok or Instagram account and have a look at their comment section, you'll soon realize that their audience is divided into two groups: men who have a kink for fresh 18-year-olds or girls under 18 who think this is the path they want to follow. And the worst part is that this seems to be the concept that all these creators are deliberately pushing. Instead of trying to discourage young girls from thinking this way, they are actively making content directed this way. And this brings us to the Piper situation. For those of you who know even a little bit about the Bop House, you must be aware that the Bop House members have been collaborating with an underage TikTok creator by the name of Piper Raquel. Piper was born in August 2007 in Georgia. This makes her a 17-year-old who is dancing on inappropriate songs with a bunch of OF creators.
Down middle part, badass bitch. You ain't never had pussy like this. Titties ain't a forehead, titties with his hands. Titties with my big titty shred. Join sexy, do it. What's up, bad?
And if you think this is bad, then you have no idea what we have in store for you. When it comes to Piper, things are just getting worse and worse. When we first decided to make a video on Bop House, we were aware of Piper's association with Bop House. However, it was not until we started researching her that we discovered some of the most disgusting things about her YouTube group, her mom, and much more. This girl has been exploited and groomed by pretty much everyone in her life, and she seems to have no idea about it whatsoever. She thinks that this is something that is going to make her popular. However, what she does not know is that she's being manipulated even by her mother. Her mother, Tiffany Smith, is on a different level of disgusting. However, we're not going to talk about her right now. Before we dive into any of that, we want you guys to have a good idea of who Piper is or who she was before she got famous. According to Famous Birthdays, before she got popular on social media, she used to compete in beauty pageants. She currently has 12 million subscribers on YouTube. and over 13 million followers on TikTok. In addition to her online presence, Piper has appeared in several web series produced by Brat TV, portraying the character Sky in Manny 2017 and featuring in Chicken Girls 2018. She has also ventured into music, releasing original songs like Treat Myself and Butterflies, which have contributed to her growing popularity as a singer.
Working real hard, 7 days a week, no time to sleep, but never stop. Hardy, double, day off, little time for me, myself, and I do what I want. Now it's a no past the night, call up my friends, over for a ride. If we say time, I would always think, we'll get it.
It's undeniable that she has accomplished a great deal at such a young age, far more than most people realize. Her talents, hard work, and potential should be what defines her. Yet, instead of being recognized for her achievements, the majority only see her as a 17-year-old girl trying to break into the OF world. That perception isn't just misleading, it's heartbreaking. And the worst part? It didn't happen by accident. The Bop House members, along with Piper's mom, have played a significant role in shaping this narrative, whether through direct influence or by failing to protect her from it. Instead of fostering her growth and helping her build a legacy beyond controversy, they've contributed to a version of her story that reduces her to a single unfortunate label. Bop House posted a video on their TikTok titled, "Welcoming Piper to the Our House." We also came across this clip of a podcast in which Camilla, one of the co-founders of the Bop House, is talking about Piper.
Piper, she's so cute. Isn't she like 17? Yeah. So, I mean, I think she's so cute. You can't come here if you're under the age of 18. Like, that's, you know, it's not gonna work.
Yes, we all see you and we love you and we appreciate it and you're so funny and I want to meet you.
Yeah, just, you know, now's not the right time, and, you know, maybe trying something more appropriate for your age, a Disney Channel audition, I don't know.
From the way she just brushed her age under the rug, it's clear she doesn't give a damn about Piper. She's saying that Piper is cute and acting as if Piper not being able to be part of the Bop House is the saddest thing that can happen to her. If it was for her, she would just welcome Piper right into the house without thinking about the fact that she is a minor. However, even if she is just hanging out with the Bop House members, it's still disgusting. I mean, how can you be friends with a 17-year-old and make videos with her, knowing the kind of content you make and the type of people who follow you and why they follow you? It's just weird. And this thing is proven further by the fact that most of the comments on Piper's videos with Bop House members have the most unhinged comments. For instance, "Please join the Bop House. Can't wait for her to turn 18 and join the Bop House." We found this TikTok of Piper with a Bop House member, and the comments on the post were unbelievable.
When all your friends put on pose and it goes on and they go on and anything and go nice. But even go.
When Piper turns 18, it's over. Piper is 100% joining when she is 18. She isn't doing anything illegal. She is literally just hanging out with them, and when she turns 18, it's not your business. All of these comments just say a lot about how people perceived this entire situation. They were basically just waiting for Piper to turn 18 so that they would get to see her OF account. We cannot emphasize enough just how deeply wrong this is on so many levels. The reality of this situation becomes even more disturbing when you consider the primary audience of the Bop House. Let's not sugarcoat it. The majority of their viewership consists of older, predatory men who are lurking in these online spaces for all the wrong reasons. And now, because of the way Piper has been positioned, those same men will inevitably start associating her with OF. Even if they don't outright assume that she is an account, we all know exactly how they'll look at her. She's only 17. She should be allowed to exist without being objectified, without being reduced to content for an audience that was never meant to have access to her in the first place. But instead, thanks to the people around her, whether through direct manipulation or sheer neglect, she's being placed in a situation that no teenager should ever have to navigate. Despite this, many people have defended this situation, saying things like she's just dancing and hanging out with them. However, we would be stupid if we believed this. These girls know what they're doing, and it's definitely not just dancing. It's really ironic that Camilla talked about Ashley Trino on her podcast and called her out for being a manipulator when she herself was doing the same thing.
Hey, ask Trevino for prison.
I started with Mr. Beast. I was in college. He was in my college town.
What?
I woke up the next morning to 145,000 followers. He posted pictures of him literally, can I say this?
I feel like the Ash Trevino interview also elevated you to like such a different plane. You said, I'm an interviewer too.
You were on her side? Literal fuck did you think was going to happen?
Even Alabama, it's like, you want to be a rapper. But it doesn't even be that serious in my opinion. You can't say that you want to be a rapper, and then the second someone is detesting you, you're running to dad and like ceasing and desisting.
If I'm going out, I'm going out with them. Wow, I can't believe that just was used right now. That's fucking iconic. Do you know how many people wouldn't have continued? Do you know how many people would have given up?
I feel like I'm at church right now.
Right, like preach, come on, church. No, we don't talk about these things, and maybe, honestly, maybe we should.
And I just see so much of myself in you. I don't know why. Like, I'm so drawn to you.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming on the Cancel Podcast.
I love you guys.
Maybe she's not as bad as her, but at the end of the day, this is borderline grooming. The Bop House girls even tried to downplay the whole situation with a flimsy excuse, claiming that Piper was never really at the Bop House. Instead, they insisted that she only visited Sophie's house, where they made TikToks together. According to them, they just randomly bumped into Piper at a mall, because apparently that's a totally believable coincidence.
Is she officially in the Bop House? So no, Piper is not a part of the Bop House. All we did was make TikToks, nothing crazy. We ran into her at the mall, and then she came over to Sophie's and we just made some videos, and she was super, super sweet. But no, she has no affiliation with the Bop House, and I just hope this clears things up.
Yeah, as if anybody's gonna believe this story. But even if it is true, this still doesn't make things any better. Even if she was not at the Bop House, she was with these adult creators who make adult content, and her video was literally posted on a TikTok page called Bop House. Everything about this entire situation seems inappropriate. And as if all of this was not bad enough, they were also consistently mocking people for it. Piper Raquel posted this video on her TikTok and captioned, "How many times are they gonna cry about me being in the Bop House?"
He might broke the belt rate today behind the way that switch. I know he died. 6-7. I just bitch right on the highway. So that.
Moreover, Raquel even posted this one video, saying it was her audition for the Bop House.
That's me.
It's absurd how she is continuously mocking people and acting as if her being 17 and making inappropriate content is no big deal. But what's worse is that none of the adults seem to be thinking either. Bop House members have consistently made videos defending themselves and pretty much airing the entire situation. We mean, just look at these two saying they want to be left out of it.
Thank you, whatever that was. How do you feel about Piper being at the Bop House? Or not at the Bop House, but... Well, I didn't really talk to her that much. I made, like, TikToks with her. But she's very sweet.
Leave me out of it, not my problem.
What?
Everyone's asking me what
How
I
was
think
it? Leave me out of it.
How was it? Like, what's your opinion?
Well, I think that I feel bad for Joy and...
Camilla also made a video talking about how she wants to be left out of it.
7:30 p.m. And I'm getting a lot of comments about what I think about this whole Piper thing. I don't know what is even going on, okay? I leave for a day. I got pimple patches on. I'm trying to enjoy my Monday night, and people are trying to drag me into something. The Bop House can fight their own battles. Look, oh God. I don't know what's going on. I don't care. I don't care. Leave me out of it.
She was one of the first people from the Bop House to encourage Piper to join, actively playing a role in bringing her into that environment. But now she thinks she can just make a video, casually telling everyone that she doesn't care and to leave her out of it, as if that magically erases her involvement, as if people are just going to nod along and say, yeah, sure, why not? It's actually utterly absurd how these grown-ass adults refuse to take any accountability for anything. They think they can invite an underage girl to their twisted OF content house, put her in the wrong limelight, and just simply back off with no comments. And what was the most concerning was that Piper was raking in views by this time. She posted this video on her TikTok after the Bop House drama, in which she thanked her fans for 3 million followers.
Hey guys, I'm back home and I want to give you a huge thank you for 13 million. Every day I wake up and open my eyes. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm a very grateful person. Believe it or not, I'm grateful for the food I eat, the clothes I get to wear, the roof over my head, everything. That I'm able to post videos, my family. Trust, I'm a grateful person. And I know that all of this can be taken away from me so quickly and not everybody's gonna wanna see me forever. I understand that. So I'm just living in the moment and I'm proud of you guys because this was all you. This wasn't me. This was you and I'm proud of you. I also want to talk about the Joy situation. I never thought that she would actually leave the Bob house. Obviously, if I could see into the future and I knew this was gonna happen, I would have stayed in my lane. But I've had a group before and usually when people leave and come back, the bond is always stronger, so don't fear. I feel everything will be okay because I know those girls have each other's back. I feel distance always grows love fonder. With all that being said, I'm sorry, Joy, and I love you, Sophie. Thank you all so much.
It's just unbelievable that she only had 3 million followers. That's significantly less than the amount she has right now. So evidently, she has earned a lot of fan following. And all of this happened because Bop House members were bottlenecking their creepy, desperate audience to Piper's account. But this isn't the only thing these people were being directed to. When we started looking at Piper Raquel, we found a whole mountain of disturbing things. For starters, she has an exclusive payment protest page on a website called Brand Army. This account has now been deleted, but other creators have made videos with screenshots of the services and benefits they get if they subscribe to her page. This one particular screenshot from her page we found read, "Congrats on joining Platinum Plus. You will receive 1 free full set the first of every month, a free set of your choice to unlock on your birthday, free DMs, free access to live streams, priority customs, free BTS, and the biggest discount access to unlock all photos." So it's basically an OF account, but on a different platform. And the worst part about all of this is that this page was created by Piper's own mother. If you look a little deeper into her presence online, you'll realize that there is something seriously troubling about her mother. From a very young age, she's been dressing Piper in extremely tight and revealing clothes, making her dance to inappropriate songs, and even selling her pictures online. We're not sure why nobody has taken action against it, but this is downright child abuse and exploitation. This is yet another case where children fall victim to internet fame just because their parents want to commercialize their lives. For instance, JoJo Siwa. She's been an icon for a good part of her life. However, more than an icon, she was a product. Her mother entered her into a competitive dancing show when she was only 11, and as she grew up, she became a human brand. Piper has also been competing in beauty pageants from a very young age, which is very similar to JoJo Siwa. But in Piper's case, things are much worse. This is because her mother isn't only trying to make her famous, but she is also sexualizing a 17-year-old child, which is disgusting to a whole new level. Before we go any further into the story and shed light on some of the most horrible things her mother has done, we'd also like to mention one thing about her. If you look at Piper's channel and her YouTube group channel, you'll realize that her mother is actually not on camera a lot. She likes to stay hidden behind the camera and show her 17-year-old daughter in tight clothes to the audience instead. But we wholeheartedly believe that this woman should be shown and talked about as much as possible. So this is Tiffany Smith, Piper's mother. As we mentioned earlier, she's been making Piper wear tight clothes from a very young age. But this is not all. She's also created a sub-only pay-protected page on a website called Brand Army. As we mentioned earlier, this page was disgusting. It had a $100 subscription plan, which would allow the users to talk to Piper on messages and see her exclusive pictures. This page also had weirdly inappropriate pictures of Piper that were there for the sole purpose of enticing her audience. And the audience in question were some seriously deranged, creepy men. And the fact that Tiffany was willingly letting these men see her daughter and interact with her is just beyond disgusting for us. However, when looking at Piper's social media accounts, we found that a lot of people who follow her don't actually find this tiny bit troubling. They argue that she's almost 18. Well, almost is the main word here. Doesn't matter if she's going to be 18 in 2 days or 3 months, she is still underage. The hard truth is that laws exist for a reason, and you can't just bypass them with an argument that she's almost 18. She won't get her driver's license because she's almost 18. She'll get it when she turns 18, and it's as simple as that. But for the satisfaction of the people who say that she's almost 18, let's just assume that they're right. This still doesn't justify the fact that Tiffany has been selling her pictures on sketchy websites for a long time, since she was way younger. Now, we don't exactly know the nature of these pictures and how inappropriate they were, but regardless of whether these were graphic pictures or not, this is still just weird. It's like Tiffany hid behind the wall of other pay-protected websites only because Piper was not 18 and couldn't legally be on OF. But to us, it's the same thing, more or less. And if you guys think this is dramatic, you will not after you watch this next part of the video. Piper was actually not the only kid who was being exploited by Tiffany Smith. You see, Piper actually had a group channel by the name Squad. However, this channel was disbanded due to a lawsuit that was filed against Tiffany for financial, emotional, and sexual exploitation of minors. Now, if you haven't seen Piper much before, let us show you what her group channel was about.
In this video, I am adding 4 new members into the squad, and stay tuned to see who they are. You know, I think I just literally met my 4 best friends.
Botox today, right? Is that a thing happening?
We are. Are we going to talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. So guys, if you don't know, we come here often, and go check out all of your socials. We'll leave them in the description. She's feeling it. All right, so Tiffany, in order for us to have this procedure, we need your approval for Botox. So come talk to the doc and approve the procedure.
Piper and her mom, and we're here.
I just have to ask a couple of
Sure,
questions.
yeah, go ahead.
Does she have any medical issues that she takes medication for?
No.
With the injections, usually we start to see an effect in about 7 to 14 days. Sometimes it takes a slightly higher dose.
Okay.
Today I'm officially joining the squad. That means we gotta tell Piper, Emily, Cody, Christian, and Levy boy. Yeah, I'm joining the squad.
Gavin is joining the squad.
I'm joining the squad.
There's not really anything I can say about this.
On the surface, it looked like a fun channel where a bunch of teens goofed around and did quirky challenges. This is actually the kind of content that kids loved back in the day. However, there was something deeply disturbing about the whole thing, and the reason was Tiffany Smith. You see, all of Piper's social media accounts were parent-controlled because she was a minor, and Tiffany controlled everything about these kids and her. Moreover, the details are daunting to say the least. In January 2022, a lawsuit was filed against Tiffany by the parents of 11 teen creators who came forward with shocking details. They told media that Tiffany shouted at them and pressurized them 24/7 to make content. Moreover, she encouraged 11-year-old children to wear tight clothes and short skirts.
This young lady's amassed more than 10 million followers on YouTube, shooting silly videos with her friends. Now Lisa Guerrero reports some of those now former friends and their parents are suing, alleging they were exploited.
Good morning, guys!
She's a multi-millionaire YouTube star, and she's only 15.
It's gonna be a super awesome video!
You may not know her name, but your teenage kids do. Her name is Piper Raquel.
I brought my whole entire squad.
And her videos have amassed close to a remarkable 2 billion views. She has her own YouTube channel with 10.5 million subscribers.
We are doing a really highly requested video.
Piper is the star, but her videos also feature her goofing around with a rotating squad of friends.
All these happy kids when behind the scenes that's not how we all were. We're stressed out crying and being in these videos because you're yelling at us and it's not fair.
Yeah, you did it!
But today Piper's mom Tiffany Smith is under fire by all these former squad members for claims of financial exploitation. In a lawsuit, they accuse her of exposing them to a physical, emotional, verbal, and sometimes sexually abusive environment.
All of our innocence was just swiped from us. She would run around and say things to you.
Were you ever asked to pose provocatively or to wear things you were uncomfortable wearing?
Oh yeah, Tiffany would always tell me to go up into Piper's closet and get something that's more tight and revealing.
And if this was not bad enough, she would also encourage boys to wear clothes that would show their bulges, actually exploiting little kids.
It's important to come forward because other kids who might think this is normal, it's not.
Corinne Joy was one of Piper's first squad members.
There's being overly sexualized at a young age and being told to say things, do things, wear things for the appeal of YouTube and for people to click on it more, which is just absolutely disgusting.
Sophie, One of the most popular squad members claimed that Tiffany made them pose in a towel when they were only 12 years old.
Sophie, how old were you when you were asked to dress provocatively?
I believe I was 11 or 12.
The mothers of these teen creators also came forward and talked about how Tiffany should be punished by law for subjecting minors to a sexually exploitive environment.
We didn't know a lot of the things that were going on. We weren't allowed to be there.
These two former squad moms say they're really upset.
I'm mortified by what she's done to other children.
Jennifer Bryant is Walker's mother.
It needs to be exposed, and she needs to be held responsible for what she's doing.
Stevie Arico is Corrine Joy's mom.
I 100% think that Tiffany exploited our children for monetary.
We came across this People article, which details some of the most horrifying secrets of Piper's Squad YouTube channel. According to this article, the complaint alleged that the plaintiffs spent significant time, energy, and expense collaborating on the YouTube channel without any compensation. The complaint also alleges that they were subject to inappropriate, offensive, and abusement treatment, including wildly offensive and explicit comments from Smith. The article also states, among the allegations against Smith included putting the minors in uncomfortable scenarios and fostering a toxic environment, such as Smith chasing the plaintiffs around the house, shouting obscene and sexually graphic phrases, asking the plaintiffs questions about their sex life, and encouraging them to try oral sex and offering hemp brownies to plaintiffs who unwittingly consumed them. The complaint also alleged that once members attempted to break free from the squad, Smith intentionally interfered with that and sabotaged their individual YouTube channels by driving subscribers and video views down. My youth was stripped away at a very young age because of Tiffany, alleged Sophia F., one of the plaintiffs. This lawsuit was never about money. It was to make sure she couldn't do what she did to me to another kid. However, Tiffany told the media that these kids were lying to create controversy because they were jealous of how successful Piper was. Yes, she actually said this.
Piper's mom says that you're all just coming forward because you're jealous of Piper's success and the money that she's made.
No.
I don't care. I don't care about any of her success.
No one's jealous of you. Especially when I joined, there was nothing to be jealous of or anything to take from you.
I didn't join the squad because I wanted money and fame. Yeah. I joined the squad because I thought I was gonna have friends.
These are hardworking, good kids, and they've been taken advantage of.
Matt Sarelson is their attorney.
They were inundated with language, rhetoric, and just a sort of a atmosphere.
The fact that she is proud of the way she has made her daughter successful proves more than anything that she's a horrible parent, and the idea of success is actually very damaging for young boys and girls, especially in the age of the internet, where it is so easy for them to post inappropriate pictures and fall victim to online predators. However, despite all of this, Tiffany was never really punished for what she did. This lawsuit was settled nearly 3 years after it was filed in January 2022. Tiffany settled this lawsuit for more than $1.5 million. Now, this is a huge amount of money, but this is still nothing compared to what she made while exploiting those kids, including her own daughter. She gave a tiny chunk for money to settle this lawsuit and to shut everyone's mouth. But the internet remembers. In a recent development, Netflix is set to premiere a docuseries titled Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kidfluencing on April 9th, 2025. The 3-part series centers around Piper, her mother Tiffany Smith, and their group of fellow child influencers, shedding light on the alleged exploitation, manipulation, and abuse within this sphere. The series about the squad and Tiffany House is incredibly important, at least according to us, because it has the potential to expose the dark reality behind what many once saw as just another influencer group. For years, much of the internet dismissed concerns about the exploitation happening behind the scenes, either brushing it off as strict management or assuming the kids were willingly participating. But with a major platform like Netflix bringing this story to a wider audience, more people, especially parents, will finally understand the dangers of unchecked parental control in social media-driven careers. However, whatever happened with these kids is happening again. And this time it's not Tiffany, it's the entire internet. And of course the members of the Bop House. Which brings us back to everything that is wrong with this content collective. When Piper momentarily joined the Bop House, there was actually a lot of drama that happened at the Bop House. It was because this one member, Joy May, opposed the idea of inviting Piper over to the house, and including her in their content. She even left the house for this very reason. She posted this cryptic TikTok on her account, hinting that she left the Bop House because of the Piper situation. When people asked her if it was about Piper, she posted this very tearful video admitting that it was indeed about Piper.
It is about Piper, because one thing about me is that I'm never gonna do anything associated with a minor. Like, it is ridiculous that the Bop House would even do that when there's so many other people you can collab with that is overage, because we all know what you guys do. So I just think it's fucking ridiculous, and I cannot tolerate that.
However, instead of acknowledging that she had the basic decency to prioritize a child's safety over their twisted internet drama, people accused her, rather than appreciating the fact that she had enough brain cells to recognize how wrong the situation was. They decided to drag her for something completely unrelated. They questioned her about that one time she made a TikTok with kids, acting as if that somehow made her a hypocrite. The situations weren't even remotely the same, but that didn't stop people from weaponizing it against her. Frustrated by the absurdity of it all, Joy eventually made a pretty heated video explaining the entire situation. She broke down the differences, defended her stance, and called out the ridiculousness of the false equivalence people were trying to push. And honestly, she was great at it.
People are not waiting for the Astrovino kids to drop a site, but people are literally waiting for Piper to drop one, and she's 17 and a minor. It's weird.
We don't know if she's really smart and knows how much bad publicity it was, or just a genuinely good person. Regardless of that, she actually spoke about it and decided to leave the Bop House.
I'm leaving the Bop House. I am done. I am done with the consistent gaslighting, the stupid drama, and most importantly, doing anything for views. You guys are vultures. You guys will prey on anything to get you your next viral video or get you guys the most views, and I'm so over it. You guys even used me crying over something that is legitimately wrong and that I genuinely care about to get yourself views. I'm done. Fuck the Bop House.
However, just when we thought we had someone sane enough to talk about it, Joy posted this video talking about how she overreacted about the Piper situation and that she did not know the whole story.
I overreacted and I was very, very emotional, as you guys can see. I do have a lot of other issues with the Bop House, but the Piper situation was completely innocent and I did take it out of context. I did speak with Piper and her mother, and they are very, very sweet people, and they are under controversy that they honestly don't deserve. I did post on my YouTube the real reason why I left the Bop House, so if you want to know the truth of that, please go find it there.
Well, that was disappointing. At this point, it started to feel like she was just using Piper's situation as an opportunity to pump out content and gain views. Sure, it might sound a bit far-fetched, but the numbers don't lie. Her account saw a significant boost from all the videos she made about the controversy. And then, almost conveniently, she left the Bop House and immediately joined another content house called the Asian House.
Hi everyone, this is my new friend Arlene. Do you think she would be a good addition to the Asian House? Do a little spin. She is Korean. Gangnam style. Yeah, I'm Korean.
It's not hard to assume that she had already decided to leave beforehand, possibly because she wanted to switch houses. But instead of just making a clean exit, she used the Piper situation as a way to position herself as the morally superior one, the one who saw the truth and took a stand. It made her look good while also giving her an excuse to distance herself from the sinking ship that was the Bop House. At the same time, there's also the possibility that her former colleagues and fellow Bop House members pressured her into speaking out, hoping that it would redirect some of the backlash away from them. After all, they were under heavy fire for their controversy, and throwing one of their own under the bus isn't exactly out of character for them. In the end, we don't know what really happened behind the scenes, but what is clear is that none of this was ever about protecting protecting Piper. Everyone involved, whether they were defending her or exploiting the situation, seemed more focused on their own reputations, content, and careers. However, the really annoying thing was when she posted this video on her YouTube about why she actually left the Bop House.
Also, the reason that like I left the Bop House as well, and everyone's saying like, why are you not accepting the Bop House girl's apology? They're all apologizing to you. They're all apologizing to you. You're so rude. You're so rude. I told them, hey, I don't think this is cool if we did something like this. And then they found different ways to go around what I said and went off a technicality of like, oh yeah, but we didn't technically do this. We did this instead. But it's still on the borderline basis of what I said I'm not okay with. And then for them to be like, well, I'm sorry, you're upset, I'm sorry. That's the same basis of like, if you came to someone like, hey, if you do this, you're gonna upset me. Just letting you know. They do it anyway, in a different way, and then come back and be like, hey, I don't know why you're upset. Or like, my bad, like, I'm really sorry I made you upset. Would you accept their apology? Like, no, you wouldn't. So yeah, I don't really care for their apologies. I don't care that they're posting me and saying like, oh, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't care. That's too little too late. I already said what I had to say. You didn't listen. You did it anyway. Didn't listen to me. So yeah, I took it on the internet.
She talked about how she was mad because no one was listening to her, possibly about the Piper situation. However, she also said that the real reason she left was because of her fight with another member called Aisha, which ended in her throwing a book at her.
Yeah, I threw a damn book at Aisha. I don't know why everyone's tripping about it, like as if y'all don't think it's justified. I feel like I said multiple times, don't come in my room. I said, don't come in my room, don't come in my room. Aisha, I'm upset, do not come in my room. And I locked my door. I'm pretty sure she damn near broke my doorknob down and to get into my room because I don't know how she would have gotten in there either like otherwise. So yeah, she broke that shit in. She broke into my room basically and was forcing me to talk to her about a situation I had already said I don't want to talk about with you. Some people, I've seen a lot of comments being like, oh, you threw a chair, you're so dramatic, you're so dramatic. I did not throw a chair. I threw a book. But I wish I did throw a chair. Maybe I would have shown her like, don't come in my room and warn her not to come near me. I don't know how much clearer I could have been. And also, not to mention that was recorded without even my permission. I did not even know she was recording. She hid that somewhere, probably up her somewhere. I don't know where the fuck she hid it.
If you don't understand, let us show you the actual video of the interaction between her and Aisha.
I'm leaving the Bop House. I am done. I am done with the consistent gaslighting, the stupid drama, and pointedly doing anything for views. You guys are—
What is wrong with this girl? We're literally at a Disney vacation right now, and she just hasn't talked to me all day and then wants to come out with this video. Like, this is so stupid. I'm literally just gonna go confront her because this is so dumb. Literally don't understand.
Joy, we need to talk.
No, I'm not getting out of your room. We need to
No,
talk.
seriously, get out of— I do not want to talk right now. I need some peace and quiet. Get out of my room.
You need peace and quiet, but you haven't talked to me all day.
Why the fuck do I need to talk about it with you?
Because you're leaving the Bop House over
What?
something.
So why does that fucking matter?
It matters because you're literally on a trip with me right now. You haven't talked to me all day, and then you're gonna.
We planned a trip before everything fucking happened. I wasn't just not gonna show up, but I don't want to talk about it. I told you this from day one in the trip. I don't want to talk about it.
I understand, but you can't just talk on social media and say you're leaving the Bop
I
House.
have explained so many times to you guys how I felt outside of social media. Nobody fucking listened to me. So I went to social media so y'all would finally fucking listen to me. I should get the fuck out of my room. I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna throw shit at you.
I don't care. We need to talk.
No, get the fuck out of my room. I'm gonna— I should
so.
get my fucking
Boy, are you serious?
Yes, you pissed me off so fucking much. I've explained so many times how I fucking felt. Nobody listens to me. What else am I supposed to do? Y'all make me feel fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, you don't need to be throwing stuff at me. We just need to
No,
have a
you're making me
grown-up
feel I
conversation.
should get out of my room. I swear to God, get out of my room. Get the fuck out.
Well, to be honest, this is the lamest possible reason that she could come up with. We don't know why she changed her stance, but this is just ridiculous. After leaving the Bop House, she also started making these videos exposing the Bop House members, yet not mentioning their names. I mean, what's the point of dragging this out if she's not even gonna tell who she's talking about?
Day one of exposing some of the girls in the Bop House. I'm not going to say any names because I'm not trying to get a cease and desist letter in my mail, but I'm sure you guys can piece it together. But one of the girls was very like my way or the highway. Like whether it was TikToks, social media, real day-to-day stuff, if we didn't do it exactly what she wanted and exactly what she needed it to be, she would have a full mental breakdown and threaten to leave all the time. Like one time when we got broken into and it was super like stressful and very traumatic for a lot of us, she was like, oh, record this, record that, like we should be recording, we should be documenting, like we should be doing this. And we're like, oh, I don't know if we're allowed to, you know, with the police going on and everything. And we were just kind of like iffy about wanting to record the situation and make TikTok dances and stuff like that. But she was so like demanding about it. And I remember her yelling at us and being like, oh, well then why am I here? Why am I in the Bop House if I'm not going to take advantage of high like exposure things like this? Like, why am I even here? I don't even need this. And we were like, okay, like, you know, and it was just a lot of situations like that where if we didn't do it what she wanted, she would like threaten to leave or just have a whole mental breakdown. And it was like walking on eggshells all the time. It was extremely stressful.
In this particular video, she's talking about a time when a stalker broke into their house. A man had been obsessively following the group online and reportedly developed a fixation on some of the creators, especially the younger ones.
How far does this go back? Like, when did this all start?
Months. So I never realized, but he's been DMing me this whole time and just sending me like really weird messages, I guess you could say.
Like, what kind of weird messages?
Like, almost insinuating that he was gonna show up somewhere.
Did he send you pictures of where he was or things like that? Like,
what? So let me go back.
Okay.
So I was actually on my way to the house when this all started happening.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just lurk on social media, he took things to a horrifying level by physically showing up at the Bop House. When he broke in, he was allegedly searching for one of the girls, though the exact details of his intentions remains unclear. Fortunately, security was alerted, and he was removed before anything worse could happen. This incident once again raises serious questions about whether a 17-year-old should have ever been allowed in the Bop House, especially when the environment wasn't even physically safe. If a stalker could break in so easily, what does that say about the security measures in place? If grown adults in the house weren't protected, how could they justify bringing in a minor? The Bop House isn't just another influencer content house, it's a breeding ground for drama, controversy, and exploitation. The most recent Bop House drama involves their feud with another adult content house and the fact that Camilla has been kicked out. We don't know if it's true, but we did come across this one TikTok of Camilla.
And if you want it, if I hate you, fuck you.
She was actually kicked out because she called out another content house by the name of the Blonde House for copying their content, and this resulted in the members of the Blonde House suing Camilla, and therefore she could no longer return to the Bop House until she settled her lawsuit.
I'm following the Bop House since you're not in it anymore. Guys, first of all, hello. I miss you guys so much. I miss, you know, clock and tea. But I am still part of the Bop House. I just, for legal reasons, cannot post with them right now, and I can't be with the girls right now. But just know that I am working with a really good set of lawyers and fighting you-know-who against everything. Beginning of next month, I will be back. And just wait for me. I promise I will be right back to telling y'all the truth and clocking the tea. So I love you guys so much, and stay tuned because this is crazy.
After the break-in, they've now moved to a new location that is secure, and they've also added new members to their house.
Where is Camilla? That's a great question. No, I'm just kidding. I love her. I live with her. But so obviously y'all know the Bop House did get broken into. We currently do not have a house. That's why we haven't been posting much. But y'all stay tuned. The end of the month, we'll be having a house that won't be getting broken into. And we'll be making TikToks very soon. And we love y'all. There's no beef, no nothing going on since the whole Joy thing. But we'll be back soon. Promise. We just wanted to say we miss you guys so much, and we'll be back. But we're all taking trips, you know, living our best lives, trying to clear our minds. But we'll see y'all soon.
At the end of the day, we truly believe Bop House is a disturbing place. What started as a place for collaboration between adult artists turned into exploitation of minors. If they had just stuck to their original, things might have not turned out this bad for the Bop House creators. With this, we'd like to end this video. That's all we have in the Bop House and the Piper situation right now. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below. Share your thoughts with us regarding the Bop House and its disgusting influence on minors. When TikTok's golden girl Charli D'Amelio suddenly vanished from the Hype House, many fans suspected that something was up. Rumors swirled on online communities as fans wondered if the departure was caused by jealousy, betrayal, or something even darker behind those mansion doors. But Charli's exit was just one crack in the dramatic falloff of the Hype House, the viral content collective that promised fame, friendship, and endless clout, but would also end up delivering some scandals, lawsuits, and broken relationships. From Charli's messy breakup with Chase Hudson to Daisy Keech's explosive departure video that got fans talking and caused an intense series of back-and-forth accusations.
I didn't even know Thomas had the heart to do that. He was my best friend. He loves to have power. He loves to be able to tell people what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It started to feel like a dictatorship in this house.
We have a house of 20 people that post 3 to 4 times a day. Like, we're talking about over 150 videos every single day from just our team.
In a house that he barely even paid for. He also came up to me and asked me to manipulate one of the bigger creators that was thinking about joining.
The group was also popular for their top-notch parties, especially the ones that they threw in 2020, even with the COVID-19 enforced lockdown causing national outrage. The Hype House was truly the perfect combination for a storm of fame, drama, and chaos. They created so much trouble in their rented mansion that the landlord sued them for over $400,000 in damages. And when the Netflix reality show that was intended to cement their legacy ended up exposing the dysfunctionality of the crew, the massive empire that they built on likes and views began to crumble. This is the story of how a dream of viral fame turned into one of social media's most notorious tales filled with lies, betrayals, and scams. To understand the full scale of the Hype House influence, we have to go back to the origins of the crew and exactly how Hype House started. See, this story of the Hype House began way back in 2019, when some TikTok creators came together to establish what they called a content creator collective based in Los Angeles. Their concept was simple. They would bring together young, upcoming creators all together in one house to collaborate, amplify growth, and capture the imagination of TikTok's young and restless audience. The idea sprang to life through 3 key creators: Chase Hudson, Thomas Petrou, and Daisy Keech. They each contributed significantly in different ways to make the Hype House dream come true. Chase Hudson, who was popularly known online as Lil Huie, had already built a signature presence on TikTok with his lip-syncing videos, dance videos, and other visually stylized content. His popularity and overall aesthetic vision helped define the brand of the Hype House early on, creating a place where creators like himself could cross-pollinate audiences and gain new subscribers from each other's following, and far faster than they would alone. Thomas Petrou, who at that time was only recently ousted from Jake Paul's Team 10 collective in August 2019, brought in both experience and ambition. He had already seen the pitfalls of influencer houses firsthand and was determined to build something better. Petrou co-created the Hype House alongside Hudson, modeling it on the collaboration-first structure he believed Team 10 lacked, and positioned himself as both the creative lead and business thinker. Daisy Keech was the third other major early contributor, as she helped fund the initiative. The model and fitness influencer contributed by raising $18,000 for the Hype House deposit, with Lil Huie and Thomas Petrou both chipping in $18,000 and $5,000 respectively to bring the sum to $41,000. The final contributors were Alex Warren and Kuver Anand, also chipped in to bring the total amount to $46,000, completing the initial deposit for the house. Though she departed by March 2020, citing internal conflicts, Daly's early financial and creative support was critical in laying the foundation. The trio met through Thomas Petrou, who is Daisy's personal photographer and editor, a field he returned to after his departure from Team 10. According to an article from the Business Insider, Daisy recounts the early days of her relationship with Petrou, saying, "We hung out almost every single day. We told each other everything. He was my best friend. painting a picture of a rather great relationship. Petrou was also friends with Lil Huie at the time after he did a photo shoot with him and talked to him about starting a content collab house. After the shoot, Petrou and Keech were introduced to Hudson's friends and fellow creators Alex Warren and Kuver Anon. Within 13 days of that first group conversation, they pooled their resources and signed the lease on a sprawling Spanish-style Los Angeles mansion in the Hollywood Hills, boasting 6 bedrooms, a pool, and enough space for a rotating cast of creators. They named it the Hype House, a name meant to both sound exciting and marketable.
What's up, ET? I'm Thomas. Welcome to the Hype House. Come on in, let's get a tour.
Why does that look so lit, though? Welcome to the TikTok bathroom. And this is my ring light. His name is also Jerry.
Welcome to our kitchen. Whoa, more snacks.
And this is my room.
From the outset, the project was framed as a content factory, not a party house for teenagers. And according to some media leaks in Dazed and the New York Times, members were expected to produce daily content, round-the-clock effort from everyone in the house as they all tried to grow together. The house also had a strict rule for the behavior of the occupants, mandating that anything that was damaged or broken in the house by any member would have to be replaced by said member, or they would risk losing their place. This rule was a bit harsh, but it was justified because, unlike Team 10, the Hype House did not take cuts from individual deals, which meant that everyone could make as much as they wanted and keep all of it, the rules serving as an incentive to work. The founding roster of the Hype House were a mix of some established names as well as some rising stars. One of TikTok's fastest rising stars and the youngest member of the collective, Charli D'Amelio, who was 15 at the time, and her sister Dixie, who were 18, were part of the biggest names on the Hype House tenants roster. Charli D'Amelio, who is already a fast-rising star on TikTok, would have been a pretty easy pick for the founding crew, as she already had over 22.8 million followers on TikTok from doing popular TikTok dance routines and other styled visual content. Her elder sister, too, was no pushover, holding her own with over 8.7 million followers on TikTok, also doing mostly dance videos alone and occasionally with Charli. 19-year-old TikToker Addison Rae also made this spicy roster, even though she had only joined the platform about a year ago. In that short time, she was still able to amass a huge following of almost 14 million followers from her dance videos and eventual music career.
Now from the top, make it drop, that's some wet, now get a in a mop, that's some wet, I'm talking wop, 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 that's some wet, macaroni in a pot, that's some wet, huh.
Avani Gregg, the obsessed Billie Eilish superfan, was also a member of the Hype crew at 17 years of age. Before joining the Hype House, her dance videos, costume makeup videos, and other sponsored content helped her reach the 10 million followers mark, giving her a strong platform to build on in the content house. Other inaugural members of the Hype House included Nick Austin, Alex Warren, and Kuver Anon, who was also one of the early contributors who chipped in for the house lease. Many of the team crew were young teenagers who still lived with their parents, but the Hype House offered them a ticket to the big leagues of influencer culture. Once the recruitment process was done and everyone had moved in, the team quickly created its own dedicated TikTok page called the Hype House, and started churning out collabs content with different member pairings. Of the nearly 20 members of the Hype House, some members were seen in more videos than the others because they lived in the house full time. The house was home base for creators like Charli and Dixie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Avani Gregg, Alex Warren, Larray, Kuver Anon, and a few others, giving them the edge as they created more content and appeared in more videos as a result. The only other members that stayed in the house full-time too were Petrou and Keech, with Petrou managing schedules and any other house issues, while also resolving conflicts and scouting for new talent. Keech, on the other hand, tried to create as much content as she could, and also pseudo-managed the younger stars. Within a month, the Hype House Instagram page gained over 1 million followers, and the TikTok account exploded with over 7 million new fans. Lil Huie saw his following jump from 3.5 million to nearly double the number 2. the numbers being a redundant confirmation that being together worked. But while they enjoyed the success early on, there was also a share of controversy at the start. When you see the roster for the Hype House, you can't help but notice that there aren't any persons of color. They're all white. This coincidence led many fans to call the Hype House out for its lack of people of color. And some TikTok stars even now suggested the creation of a melanin mansion for TikTok stars of color.
All right, hear me out. So these niggas went ahead and created a Hype House with all white people on it. So I think it's our turn to have some fun. I propose a house where we all have cookouts, all the chicken will be wonderfully flavored, and we'll sell out our culture for TikTok hype. And I call it the Melanin Mansion. My fellow kings and queens, let us join forces in creating the Melanin Mansion. Serious inquiries only, do this video to apply or just DM me. And yeah, this is gonna be a real thing.
And while the pitch for a Melanin Mansion might have sounded feasible and like a good idea, it never gained any serious traction. Fans also pointed out that TikTok wasn't ready for a black version of Hype House at that point. Right after its inception, the Hype House quickly rose in fame and became TikTok's hottest content engine. The formula worked almost instantly, as members filmed together day in, day out, their collaborations boosting each other's follower counts. Charlie became the most followed person on TikTok within months. Addison signed with a major talent agency. Chase's moody teen idol image had him trending constantly. The collective's shared social media platform amassed millions of followers in weeks. The group's visibility and influence was so significant that it even led to them getting a Netflix reality series called Hype House, which premiered in January 2022, offering a behind-the-scenes look at their personal lives, relationships, and struggles of the crew. It was a win-win on the surface, as fans and the general public saw the glamour, the luxury, and the endless run of content creation. But behind all that facade, tensions and controversies were already brewing among members and founders of the Hype House. By 2020, COVID-19 had taken the world by storm. Within months of announcing the virus in China, it had spread across most continents, forcing governments across the world to mandate national lockdowns and curfews. The news, while disheartening for the Hype House crew, didn't stop them from doing what they liked. And in July 2020, Nikita Dragun hosted a surprise birthday party for Lorraine at the Hype House mansion. This happened at the height of California's COVID-19 restrictions, with reports suggesting that about 67 attendees, mostly influencers, gathered at the event, all without masks or distancing. The backlash came fast. Social media users, other influencers, and even fans called it irresponsible. Several attendees issued public apologies after the outrage. The reaction from fans was very swift to criticize their actions, with some of the fans calling for their arrests and possible fines for breaking the lockdown rules. Another user on Reddit was more concerned about the well-being of young teens, who in his words, probably now think that it's fine to go for parties because these famous people are doing it. Another user pointed out that this was how the virus returned in Korea, saying that people started going to clubs and parties, breaking down the herd resistance. After receiving a whole lot of criticism, some members of the Hype House that were at the party eventually tried to make amends by issuing public apologies and statements before returning to the normal content life. After the COVID party issue, the next test for the collective was the unraveling of their open-door collaboration model, as members started raising questions about specific collaborations and member rights. First up was Daisy Keech, one of the co-founders, started raising some concerns in March that she was being excluded from decisions and was also cut out of ownership of Hype House, despite investing early funds. Daisy Keech was ready to fight publicly and legally. She released a tell-all YouTube video detailing manipulation, erasure, and betrayal.
What's up, guys? If you don't know me, I'm Daisy and I'm a co-founder of the Hype House. By the title of this video, you probably already know what I'm about to talk about, and I don't want to talk about this, but I do feel like I should. I wanted to speak to you directly because I feel like it's important for you to hear how I feel coming from me and not from a middleman, not from saying, oh, Daisy said this, they said that, this is how she feels, and just like assume. I wanted you to hear it directly from me, and I feel like it's a little bit more personal, and now no one can assume how I feel because I'm about to tell you everything from my perspective down.
She started the video by saying that she still loves everyone at the Hype House, then goes on to narrate how Thomas Petrou, who was her good friend for years, and how she hired him as her photographer and editor after he was fired for no reason from his previous team. Then Thomas linked up with Chase Hudson, aka Lil Huddy, over a photo shoot and told him about the idea to start a content house. And they brought that to Daisy and she was all in. They met at Hudson's Airbnb to discuss the idea better, and they started hunting for houses on Zillow right there. They eventually found the current Hype House, and they agreed on it, and she contributed $18,000 for the deposit.
He started to talk about the idea of a content house. And at this time, he just met Chase. He did like a photo shoot for him. On Carlsbad to meet up with Alex and Cobra and their whole crew. And Chase had an Airbnb in LA. And we all met up there and we all hung out and we all vibed. And we're like, yeah, like we really should take this whole content house thing seriously. So we started looking at like Zillow and all the home rental websites. And we found the house that we're at now, the Hype House.
Despite putting down that money, Daisy said that she didn't feel like she was being represented in neither the media nor the decision-making of the house. She claimed that she wasn't ever credited as a co-founder, and she also had no access to the Hype House's social media accounts nor the brand deals they were getting.
And I wish even that I had someone telling me to go get some recognition because I know that I deserved it. I put down $18,000 plus my own platform. I just kind of kept my mouth shut the entire interview, didn't try to take any recognition and just left it to Thomas and Chase. And looking back, I really wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I would have been strong enough and set an example for other female co-founders who are afraid to take the recognition because they're such powerful men.
Meanwhile, Thomas was taking more and more control. She's quoted saying, "A trend that I'm starting to notice is he loves to have power," speaking about Thomas in her video. He loves to be able to tell people what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It started to feel like a freaking dictatorship in this house, a house that he barely even paid for.
Who is a part of the Hype House, and Thomas is the only one with full control over that. A trend that I'm starting to notice is he loves to have power. He loves to be able to tell people what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It started to feel like a fucking dictatorship in this house, in a house that he barely even paid for.
Things seemed to come to a head when Daisy walked into the house one day to find that they were filming a music video for an artist in the house. She was annoyed that she had not previously been told about the shoot, considering her name is on the lease and she could be held legally liable for any damage to the property. That was when Thomas told her that the money she put down, the $18,000, was so they could live together as friends and it was not for the Hype House.
And I walk in and there's this huge music video production. Me being on the lease, you would think he would have to get my permission or at least bring it up to me, but he didn't. He claims he put it in the group text, but you still need to go to all the people on the lease and let them know what is going on and if it's okay with them. I go in my room and it is swarmed with people and clothing racks, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? I had no idea. So I confronted Thomas and I was like, yo, like, what is happening here? You didn't even tell me about this. Like, I don't get it. Why do you think that you can do this? He's like, what do you mean I put it in the group text? I'm like, okay, one, you never said the date of when it's gonna happen. Two, you need to go to all the leaseholders and let them know. You also need to talk to the landlord about hosting a music video shoot. So I confronted him about that. I also confronted him about my percentages. He was trying to tell me that the $18K that I put down for this business was just so a bunch of friends could live together and it has nothing to do with the Hype House.
Again, she confronted Thomas and he reportedly shunned her and then unfollowed her on all of the Hype House's social media accounts, effectively making it look like she was no longer a member. He then went on to tell all of the other members to unfollow and block her as well, ensuring that she was duly cut off.
He unfollowed me off of all social medias to make it look like I'm not a part of it anymore. He hosted a little team meeting and asked them all to unfollow me and to block me without even he didn't even talk to me about this to be like, hey, yo, like, you should be kicked off the team. Like, he just did this. Like, I don't know, and I'm a co-founder and I put my physical money that I worked my ass off for into this house.
She also added that Thomas silenced her at key press events, referring to her as a hot Instagram model with a shelf life, and shut her out of deals, despite her being a co-founder. She even attempted to trademark Hype House, prompting a fierce legal counter from the others. The dispute escalated legally as Daisy filed for a trademark on the name Hype House, provoking the other founders, Thomas and Chase, to launch a competing LLC trademark via Chase's father. She later filed a lawsuit against Thomas Petrou and Chase Hudson over ownership and financial disagreements. This breakup wasn't quiet. According to multiple sources, she was locked out of media and social handles and escorted out by security all over the mansion she helped fund. Pissed off at how she was treated, Daisy wasn't going to lay low and just take it all. And they started a subtle beef on social media, with Daisy supposedly taking an early jab with this video that she posted on TikTok. After seeing the video, fans were assured that it was directed at Thomas, but Daisy assured everyone that it wasn't directed to anyone and wasn't about anyone, getting ahead of the narrative. But at the end of the day, the cracks in their relationships were now visible for all to see. In next to no time, Thomas hit back at Daisy, promising to tell his own side of the story in due time. He also posted a tweet saying, "Nope, nope, nope, don't lie," responding to Daisy's claims in her video, and later doubled down on Instagram, posting a story that said, "Lies on lies one lies." A little while after Daisy Keech's video, Thomas dropped his own video to address the claims that Daisy lied against him and the rest of the Hype House crew. He denied the allegation that he said he was the only founder of the Hype House. He said that Daisy lied about the payment of the money, and that while she contributed for the Hype House, she did not do so immediately. Rather, he and Hudson raised the money and Daisy refunded them 18 grand back. He also showed receipts of the payments from Daisy to confirm this. Thomas also claims that Daisy was trying to hijack the Hype House name as she went behind their backs to apply for the trademark.
Proof, as you can see right here, the trademarks filed in Daisy Keech's name for the Hype House were filed on January 7th, almost 3 weeks after we started the entire Hype House. Keep in mind that Daisy did this behind anyone's backs, and I found out weeks after she had done this.
He also denied speaking ill about Daisy to her lawyer. Thomas also took to social media to clear his name, and he posted some of his chats with Daisy. And in the text's history, you can clearly see where he tells her that Lil Mosey wanted to shoot a video in the house, a text that she responded to with a voice recording, and then suggested that they charged a fee for letting him use the house. Then another chat history shows Thomas yet again informing her that another scene would be shot the following morning, and Daisy again is asking for payment for the leasing service. This evidence shows that Daisy was probably not communicating her ideas properly, or that she was straight up lying about the events at the house to look like the victim of the whole situation, as Thomas suggested earlier. Then Coover went on to further add that Daisy was very disrespectful towards other women in the house. That now prompted a response from Daisy's best friend towards Coover's post. Abby made a video, and in that video, she reminded Coover that Daisy was a good person, while Coover, on the other hand, she called one of the rudest persons she'd ever met. She goes on and on about how Coover just keeps digging and scraping for anything to bring Daisy down, but still can't find one. Then she added that Coover did not share all the chats she had with Daisy, promising to do that in her next posts.
Listen, I know Daisy's not going to speak on this situation anymore, but I'm her best friend, and I refuse to just sit here. Coover, how dare you say that Daisy is disrespectful towards women? You are one of the most disrespectful people I've ever come across in my entire life, truly mean-hearted. I don't understand why you won't show the rest of the text messages between you and Daisy, like where you were telling her that she means nothing and all of the rest of what you said. So I'm just gonna go ahead and post those next, and maybe stop trying to scrape and find information to just take Daisy down, because there is none. She's a great person and she always will be. So God bless and get a life. Thank you.
As she promised, Abby posted the rest of the chats between Debbie and Coover, and they revealed that Coover was the aggressor. From the conversation, one can deduce that Coover tried to reach out to Debbie to discuss some issues, but Debbie wasn't available for some reason, leading Coover to question why she was never available. Debbie said that the house was always dirty, and that was why she's not always around. After that, the ladies just got into a dogfight, taking shades and throwing jabs at each other. They compared the number of views they got on their accounts. Coover questions Debbie's status as co-founder, and it was just downhill from there. Weeks later, with a lawsuit against Thomas and Lil Huddy awaiting a date for hearing, Daisy announced that she's launched her own content house. She called the new house the Clubhouse, partnering with her best friend Abby Rowe and bringing in talents like TikTok fashion star Chase Keith and Kinsey Wolanski, the model that ran onto the pitch during a Champions League final match in 2019. Although Daisy was not the last notable name that exited the Hype House early on, in May of 2020, the D'Amelio sisters, Charlie and Dixie, also made their own dramatic departure from the house. The sisters said that they left because the project had become more of a business than a creative space, though they mentioned friendships with other members. After she tried to give reasons for her departure, fans still speculated the departures were tied to the internal drama of the Hype House, Daisy's removal, and especially as Charlie just broke up with Chase Hudson. These early exits highlighted a rift between members of the house who were prioritizing creative collaboration and those focusing on brand monetization. On Reddit, a fan thread warned of a looming disaster, saying that the group was quickly fading from memory and that the house was trashed. Reputations have been damaged, and only a few escaped unscathed. One user even recounted that Thomas forcibly demanded content creation daily. If she didn't make any content that day, then she wasn't allowed to eat, highlighting just how toxic the content house had become at that point. Even behind the scenes, sources later suggested that Thomas was the main profiteer, while many other members, including Daisy and Alex, made little to no money from the house itself, as they were mostly relying instead on individual brand deals. Beyond Daisy Keech's lawsuit, Thomas Petrou also faced online criticism for allegedly using strict contracts and NDAs with the underage creators in the Hype House. According to some unverified but widely circulated claims on Reddit, these agreements were designed to lock in management control at a time when young influencers didn't fully understand the commitments they were making. While Petrou has not been formally accused in court over these claims, the allegations fed a growing narrative of power imbalance inside the creative. By mid-2020, TikTok personality Darianka Sanchez was reportedly set to join the Hype House. The Costa Rican model Darianka Sanchez moved into the Hype House over the weekend and has since appeared in several social posts from the other house members. But after some allegations surfaced online about how she had engaged in hacking and bullying online, specifically targeting fellow influencer Kenzie Ziegler, her addition to the roster was later scrapped. The Hype House publicly denied she'd ever been an official member, but the incident raised questions about vetting and brand image. The Hype House drama spilled into public view in July 2020, when Chase Hudson posted a now-deleted tweet accusing various TikTok stars of cheating and dishonesty. Charlie D'Amelio responded publicly, sparking a wave of back and forth between members of Hype House and rival collective Sway House. While the feud ended without physical confrontation, it drew millions of views and further entrenched the perception of instability. Then in early January 2021, Tony Lopez, one of the house's most visible members, was accused by two minors of grooming and sexual misconduct. The lawsuit alleged that the TikTok star and former Hype House influencer Tony Lopez sexually harassed and collected explicit photographs of two underage fans. Lopez initially denied all allegations, calling them financially motivated attacks. But the lawsuits brought serious reputational damage to both him and the Hype House brand. The case was eventually settled out of court as McLoone Law Group, a consumer-focused firm specializing in civil rights, employment rights, and sexual harassment cases, secured a settlement for the lawsuit filed in 2021. The settlement was reached amicably between Lopez and the accusers. Online interactions by fans, especially on Reddit communities, discussed the case of Jenny, a young figure that was associated with the early Hype House era. While finer details of her ordeal remain speculative, Reddit threads accused her family, particularly her mother, of exploiting her for content. After an interview she had with a reporter aired, revealing how she had been a victim of childhood exploitation, Jenny's TikTok account, where she had over 7 million followers, was banned due to TikTok exploitation concerns. The news fueled speculation about how younger creators were being managed and protected in influencer collectives. There were also concerns over the level of body exposure that Jenny showed in her videos, with the Reddit thread describing it as showing so much skin as a young teenager. And her mother, Maria, didn't help matters either. She reportedly acted crazy on camera multiple times, and even cursed at her kids and would allegedly hit them too, subjecting them to significant maltreatment and being rude about it. After she became older and wanted to now try TikTok on her own, Jenny's TikTok account kept getting banned for the same reasons. But it's all good for them now, as the Redditor adds that Jenny was able to buy a house for her family, and they've all moved in and she's safe now. After all that drama, one would not be condemned for thinking that the Hype House would be done with all their drama. But right at the turn of the new year, in January 2023, the Hype House was sued by its former landlord for over $300,000 in unpaid rent and property damage. Daniel Fitzgerald, a Hollywood landlord and the self-proclaimed owner of the biggest influencer homes in LA, filed a lawsuit against several members of the Hype House, including Thomas Petrou and Cole Hudson. The lawsuit claimed the crew did significant destruction in the house, including broken tiles, structural harm to the building, and the use of prohibited items like fireworks and flamethrowers inside the property. He even made a video compilation of all the acts that caused damage to the property.
Hi, Daniel Fitzgerald here, Danny Hollywood Homes. Please watch the video of the Hype House destroying my home in a breach of contract, moved out 5 months early, and haven't paid the rent.
I think today we're gonna be using a flamethrower to scare that out of the Hype House. I don't know how to use it. Why are you fucking scared? Oh, damn! Bryce! It's not turning off! Almost fucking burn down the Hype House! You do it, right?
The footage shows house guests using flamethrowers indoors, allegedly shattering tile flooring with their skateboards and disturbing the neighborhood as fans flocked to the property. Speaking to the media outlet, Fitzgerald said, "When we went to mediation, we just gave them a tape of all the stuff and said, this is what they did. And then they just settled on the spot, basically." According to the lawsuit filed against the Hype House, a $400,000 settlement was reached with the landlord, to be paid over the course of 40 months in $10,000 monthly payments. But that agreement was breached when the group only paid a quarter of the agreed monthly payment in January 2022. This default in their agreement prompted Fitzgerald to sue them, demanding the entire sum at once. The landlord news eventually blew over, and soon headlines were taken over by the release of Hype House, a reality series on Netflix. The Hype House series featured stars of the actual Hype House crew: Coover Anand, Dragon, Hacker, Hayward, Hudson, Merritt, Petrou, Warren, and Jack Wright. Hype House premiered on Netflix on January 7th, 2022. The series exposed the toll the influencer lifestyle was taking on members. Alex Warren admitted to anxiety over algorithm changes threatening his career that was already in a rough place. He stood out in the Netflix series as the moral center of the show. He was sold as an American success story for overcoming homelessness and the death of his parents, then making videos on their neighbor's webcam in 2011, then transforming himself into a self-made millionaire by creating some of the most viral internet videos of his generation. His story was nothing short of inspirational. Other members on the show noted that the house itself wasn't generating direct income for them, as they've relied on personal brand deals.
Okay, so hold on. You make money from the record deal, but do you make anything from Hype House?
No, never. No one made money off Hype House except for Thomas.
What?
Yeah.
How the does that work?
I don't know. It was the whole thing where he like controlled the finances. Pretty much, he just said, you know, all the money will be used to like pay for like a Hype House account. It's like we had an account for the Hype House purchases and stuff, and he just controlled it. But we got paid like for brand deals.
Okay.
The Hype House would bring.
But he still took a piece of those too. Yeah.
Is that why the Hype House died, or did it just run its course?
A lot of us signed NDAs, so no one's gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like.
Do they own a piece of your music business?
Hell no. He
Right,
doesn't.
good.
No. Hype House. The whole thing is there was no contracts. No one owned parts of things, but there was like falling out. Like no one, anyone who's ever been a part of Hype House will not tell you, like what happened.
What happens in Hype House?
But
stays
at a
in
certain
Hype
point,
House?
if everyone leaves and no one like you, all of us hang out, but no one hangs out with anyone who is in it or are currently in it for a certain reason.
Petrou, meanwhile, shouldered most of the crew's managerial and legal responsibility. After naming himself manager, he also controlled all the money that the Hype House generated, and multiple members of the crew have fingered him for the mismanagement of said funds. Between 2021 and 2022, The original momentum of the Hype House had significantly waned. Early members like Michael Sanzone, Alex Oren, Kuver Anand, Jack Wright, Patrick Houston, Calvin Goldby, and Connor Paper Yates had moved out of the house, only ever reaffirming their affiliation to the crew by name only. Thomas Petrou, the remaining co-founder, said that those left did so on good notes, and he reaffirmed the importance of the crew's continued connection despite its separation. Although Thomas made significant effort to maintain continuity by adding new faces like Tabitha Swadash, Brooke Monk, Paige Taylor, and members of the Breezy Boys, most of these additions had left by late 2022. Finally, the mansion itself, the iconic home that symbolized the collective, was sold in August 2024, marking a definitive end to the physical era of the Hype House. Several factors accelerated the Hype House's decline. Events like Daisy Keech's early departure over decision-making and financial exclusion, followed by her trademark dispute, revealed foundational fractures from the very start. In recent interviews, Alex Oren has disclosed that, apart from Petrou, most members earned little to nothing directly from the collective, proving that it stopped being profitable for the creators. That, combined with the necessity to consistently produce viral content, probably sapped enthusiasm from the crew members. Alex Oren also admitted that he was failing at times to keep up with performance expectations, with burnout a recurring theme. He even teased a song in a video titled "Burning Down," and said that the song was for the content house, making fans speculate and eventually reach the conclusion that he was talking about the Hype House. The Hype House's rapid rise and fall mirrored the life of the other TikTok collectives. Take the Sway House, for example. They disbanded in early 2021, showing the same fragile, trend-driven nature of such venues. Alex Oren, as we mentioned earlier, has pivoted to music and podcasting. He began independently releasing music around 2021 before he was signed by Atlantic Records the following year. His 2024 single "Burning Down" from his debut EP was his first song to appear on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. His 2025 single "Ordinary" peaked at the top of the Billboard Hot 100, where it remained for multiple weeks, and also topped the charts in several other countries, including Australia, Canada, and United Kingdom. Vinnie Hacker, who joined in 2021, has grown into a design, modeling, and streaming career, one that is boasting millions of followers on TikTok and a strong Twitch presence. Kuver Anand, after leaving the house, continued her relationship with Alex, and they announced their engagement in 2022 on New Year's Eve. The pair eventually got married in 2024. The union was wildly celebrated online, as it was an event that resonated with fans and also aided the couple's continued relevance in influencer circles. Many others continued building personal brands via content, music, acting, or other entertainment ventures.
Everybody, welcome back to the Shut the F Up. I'm sorry. I'm on YouTube. Damn it. J-Rod, roll it back. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. I'm Bryce Hall. My dick's hella small, and I'm trying to turn around and lick my balls, but I can't because my dick's too like. Walking, it's 100 degrees. It feels like Satan's dick in here.
Whoa. At what point of all this did you meet Addison?
It was like 2019. She came over. Instantly, I felt the butterflies. I was like, hey, what's up, shawty?
Is that really your first words to her?
No. I was like subliminally hitting on her.
As now we have Nessa. Hey, shark girl.
Hey, shark. Hey, poopy girl.
Shark girl.
Poop pants. Hey, let's all make it a trend. Let's all comment Nessa sharted
in the bottom of this video. Right now, every Instagram photo.
Stop.
And so that's why it's like it hurts, right? That's why like I'm looking at this video, I see two people that I like love, like they're my family. I would die for them tomorrow. I would die for them now. I would like the possibility, like even if it's 0.5% being in the back of my brain of like I could lose both these people.
In early 2020, the world came to a standstill. COVID-19 was spreading like wildfire, lockdowns had begun, and most of us were stuck at home, bored, anxious, and endlessly scrolling. Out of that chaos rose something uniquely Gen Z, the content houses. And at the very center of that cultural wave stood the Sway House, a group of impossibly ripped, perpetually shirtless boys with ring lights, TikTok clout, and just enough chaos to keep them in headlines. It wasn't just another mansion in Los Angeles filled with creators. The Sway House was branded as the anti-hype house, more masculine, more rebellious, more frat boy energy than their dance-driven counterparts. But behind the six-pack thirst traps and choreographed chaos was a time bomb ticking louder with every post. Cheating scandals, public fights, messy breakups, ego wars, and a trail of burned bridges. The rise was fast, but the fall even faster. This is the full story of the Sway House. How it began, what made it explode in popularity, the endless controversies, and ultimately how it all collapsed in spectacular fashion. Now, when you hear the word content house, you probably picture a giant LA mansion packed with young influencers, ring lights in every corner, TikToks being filmed in the kitchen, and non-stop parties. For a while, that was exactly the vibe. From the Hype House to the Sway House to Clubhouse and the Wave House, these collectives dominated social media feeds. Everyone wanted to be in one, or at least follow the drama. Content houses exploded during the pandemic. With the world in lockdown and TikTok on the rise, these groups offered a kind of fantasy escape. It was a mix of friendship, fame, and chaos all under one roof. But like most trends born in quarantine, the hype didn't last. Behind the scenes, there were constant fights, cheating scandals, and business fallouts. Slowly, most of the original houses either broke apart or faded into irrelevance. Today, only a few exist, like the Bop House or Asian House, which mostly hosts OnlyFans creators. To be honest, the flashy, viral content house era is mostly over. But no house captured both the rise and the destruction of this phenomenon quite like the Sway House. We mean it officially launched in January 2020 and came crashing down by February 2021, so just a little over a year later. Which, let's be honest, is kind of pathetic considering how big they were. You'd think a group with that much attention, brand power, and clout would last longer. But what's truly shocking is just how much chaos they managed to pack into that short time. In the span of 12 messy months, the Sway Boys delivered a constant stream of drama. Chances are if you were on the internet around 2020 or 2021, you've seen these faces pop up more times than you can count. Bryce Hall, Jaden Hostler, Josh Richards, the D'Amelio sisters, Addison Rae, these names were everywhere. Whether it was trending drama, viral dances, or messy breakups, they were impossible to escape. But the truth is, a lot of people don't actually know why they were famous in the first place, or how they managed to land themselves in controversy after controversy. That's exactly why we're diving deep into one specific content house that brought most of them together and practically manufactured drama like it was part of their brand strategy. As we go further into this video, fair warning, the sheer amount of name-dropping might leave your head spinning. But don't worry, if you're not familiar with every influencer we mention, we've got you. We'll break it all down and give you everything you need to know about these people and how it all went so horribly wrong. So what exactly was this Sway House? For those of you blissfully unaware, here's a brief introduction. The Sway House was created in January 2020, just before the pandemic would shut the world down. It was the brainchild of Talent X Entertainment, a talent management and social media agency founded by Michael Gruen, an industry insider known for scouting and molding influencer talent. While other content houses like the Hype House were already finding their groove, the idea behind Sway was to go harder, not in dance routines, but in attitude, branding, and chaos. Unlike the squeaky clean Disney Channel vibes of the Hype House, the Sway House leaned into being the bad boys of TikTok. Think protein powder instead of pastel outfits, punching bags instead of LED lights. Their content was wild, their image was rebellious, and they thrived off controversy.
He's about to be.
Guys, it's Daddy Gray and non-Daddy Bryce Hall here. That was fucking weird. His name's Blake Gray. I'm Bryce Hall. If you pan the camera over that way a little bit, it's our ex-girlfriend!
The original Sway Mansion was a luxury estate in Bel Air, Los Angeles. Now, if you're not familiar with the area, it's one of the richest old money areas in LA. It's actually part of the Beverly Hills, so yeah, you get the idea.
up? Welcome to the Sway House. Come on in.
It had everything you'd expect from a high-end content house. Massive bedrooms, a private gym, a pool that begged to be vlogged in, and enough space to film TikToks at any hour. But it wasn't long before the house became less known for its aesthetic and more for the chaos within its walls. The goal was clear: dominate TikTok and the internet. Sway wasn't just about dancing in front of a phone. It was about building personal brands, launching music careers, and capitalizing on viral moments. They had a formula: take hot guys with decent social skills, let them live together, stir in drama, and post it all online. And it worked, in a way. Worked well enough to make headlines, even if it was for all the wrong reasons. Or worked well enough to get called out by Ariana Grande on national television. Or maybe well enough to make the mayor of Los Angeles cut power and water supply to their house. Yeah, and this is not even the tip of the iceberg. From the beginning, the vibe was different. The Sway Boys weren't doing cutesy group dances in coordinated outfits. They were shirtless, sweaty, and usually yelling. Their content felt raw and chaotic, often looking like a frat house on spring break. Whether it was smashing things in the backyard, working out aggressively, or mocking other creators, Sway House became a lightning rod for attention, both good and bad. They didn't just lean into the bad boy image, they weaponized it. Whereas the Hype House relied heavily on TikTok's wholesome, family-friendly vibe, Sway leaned into edgy humor, reckless behavior, and constant rule-breaking. However, the fans ate it up, even though their entire fan base was basically made of about 10-year-old boys.
Yo, somebody's at the door!
Or say they call it Sway. It's like the hippest name of all time.
At the same time, critics hated it, but it kept them in the algorithm. Now, another thing we'd like to talk about is comparison. From day one, comparisons to the Hype House were inevitable. But the difference was night and day. The Hype House was polished, aesthetic-driven, led by Thomas Petrou and Chase Hudson, aka Lil Huddy, and mostly PG-13. The Sway House was more like gym bros with phones, throwing punches, drinking, and blasting music, somewhere between TikTok and Jersey Shore. Though the two houses occasionally collaborated, there was a low-key rivalry that never really went away, fueled by fan bases, tweets, shade-filled TikToks, and competing clout. And don't worry, we're gonna break it all down in this video. However, before we get into the team drama and relationship scandals, we want to talk about the mastermind behind the vision. Despite all the madness, there was a serious business machine behind it. Michael Gruen and Talent X weren't just handing out free rent. They were building influencer empires. Members were quickly offered brand deals, modeling gigs, sponsorships, and music opportunities. And even when the members weren't beefing, partying, or getting canceled, they were still growing fast. Bryce Hall hit millions of followers seemingly overnight. Josh Richards started dipping into entrepreneurship. Jaden Hostler began a full pivot into music. In the beginning, everything they touched turned into internet gold, until it didn't. Because soon things would begin to spiral, and what started as a clout-fueled frat fantasy would unravel into one of the messiest content house collapses of all time. That being said, we'd now like to introduce you to the cast of the Sway House, also known as the One Direction of TikTok. If the Sway House was a chaotic brand, then its members were the loud, shirtless mascots leading the charge. Each one had their own role to play. Some were the heartthrobs, some the bad boys, others were just kind of there. But together they made up one of the most infamous groups in TikTok history. Whether it was through drama, scandals, music, or straight-up fights, these boys managed to keep themselves trending almost every week. Disaster to the table. There were 9 members in total, and trust us, each one of them brought their own special flavor of disaster to the table. Let's start with the most obvious one, Bryce Hall. If The Sway House was a movie, Bryce was the loud, reckless main character who just couldn't help but self-destruct for attention.
I think you have a little crush on me. Ew, no. Yeah, I think you do.
He was one of the co-founders and easily the most polarizing member. Known for his aggressive attitude, short temper, and I don't care energy, Bryce made headlines almost as often as he made TikToks.
Hey, he's not a fighter. He never claimed to be a fighter.
From starting public fights to getting arrested in Texas for possession of marijuana to his infamous party during the pandemic that got the power shut off by the city of LA, the guy was practically a walking TMZ headline. He branded himself as the anti-hero, someone who leaned into controversy instead of avoiding it. And whether people loved him or hated him, they definitely were watching. Then we had Josh Richards, arguably the most normal one in the group, and for a while the brains behind the operation. While Bryce was out starting fights, Josh was busy starting businesses.
Guys, now that Bryce is gone, we can get down to what we really were supposed to do in here.
Sounded so wrong. We were watching a movie.
No, I think you were on to the right way the first time.
He was one of the more level-headed members, and despite getting roped into his fair share of drama, especially when it came to relationship messes, he always seemed a little more calculated. Josh co-founded the Sway House with Bryce, but eventually grew tired of the chaos and pivoted toward entrepreneurship. He launched a podcast, BFFs, with Barstool's Dave Portnoy, invested in energy drinks, and positioned himself more as a business mogul than an influencer. According to the Sway House's Wikipedia page, Bryce Hall and Josh Richards were the founding members of the group, which basically means that they were the first ones to be accepted into the content house. After them came Jaden, Anthony, and Griffin, followed by the rest of the group that were added post-forming. Jaden Hostler, as the internet now knows him, Jakeston. Jakeston was the moody, emo member of the group who quickly transitioned from TikTok heartthrob to aspiring rock star. He stood out from the beginning. Painted nails, edgy outfits, and a very different energy compared to the rest of the Sway Bros. But his rise wasn't just about aesthetic. Surprisingly, Jaden had real musical ambitions, and in 2020, he signed with Travis Barker and DTA Records to launch his music career. However, what really threw him into controversy before all of this was his personal life. He was originally best friends with Josh Richards and even dated Mads Lewis, but things got messy when he was linked romantically to Nessa Barrett, Josh's ex-girlfriend. The cheating allegations, diss tracks, cryptic tweets, and unfollows turned it into a digital soap opera, and Jaden became one of the most hated members overnight. Moving on, Griffin Johnson was another key member, although his role was more in the romantic drama department. He was originally known as the sweet, low-key guy who was studying to be a nurse before TikTok fame pulled him into the spotlight. But his image took a nosedive after his very public relationship and breakup with Dixie D'Amelio. It all started off cute and couple goals until cheating allegations surfaced. Dixie posted a now iconic video exposing Griffin's texts with multiple girls, and the internet turned on him instantly.
I'm not even gonna ask. You're the one that didn't want me, but I ain't trying to win you back. She said I cheated, and that's just fucked up, but you believed it. Ain't that convenient? You hung all the dirty laundry out for everyone to see. 100 million know the story, but they don't know the history. If only they could read between all the lines.
He tried to clap back with a diss track called Convenient, but it only made things worse.
I'm not here to say I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna ask. You're the one that didn't want me, but I ain't trying to win you back. She said I cheated. That's just up, but you believed it. Ain't that convenient?
Yeah, it's dramatic like that. From that point forward, Griffin struggled to recover his reputation and was eventually seen less and less around the Sway crew. Another name worth mentioning is Noah Beck, who technically wasn't an original Sway member, but his association with the group put him in the same spotlight. Noah was often viewed as the soft-spoken model-type influencer with the most crossover appeal. He dated Dixie D'Amelio after her breakup with Griffin, which caused even more fan drama.
Who is Noah Beck dating? I am dating Dixie D'Amelio. Dixie's amazing. She's an awesome girl. It's been really fun, and so I'm excited for the future.
Honestly, at this point, it's getting real hard to keep track of who dated who and when. But don't worry, we'll get into all of it with the proper timelines and everything. However, back to Noah. One thing that fans know very well about Noah is that while he tried to stay out of messy situations, his relationship and awkwardly stiff presence in the chaotic Sway universe made him an interesting outlier. He was in the house, but never really of the house. Then there's Quentin Griggs, the quiet one with the alt boy aesthetic. He was known for his dyed hair, baggy clothes, and sad boy energy, which made him popular with a very specific segment of TikTok fans.
Boys, Buddy's over here is gonna go distract Quentin. I mean, we're at a party right now. Got a cake, probably slamming in his face because he's a freshman.
What do you want me to tell him?
Quentin's gonna be pissed. No, he's freshman, bro. He'll get it.
Hey, let's get it.
Yo, what's up, kid?
It's in my eye. Hey, Quentin. Hey, it's burning, bro.
Quentin never seemed to fully immerse himself in the drama the way the others did, but he was still caught in the crossfire from time to time, especially when it came to his on-again, off-again relationship with Cynthia Parker. Like most Sway relationships, it ended in public heartbreak and vague subtweets. Kiasir was another name that floated around the Sway house in its earlier days. He had a charming smile, solid follower count, and contributed to group content, but he didn't quite leave the same mark as the others. He mostly stayed under the radar when it came to major controversies and was more of a side character in the Sway saga than a central figure. He did have some romantic rumors floating around, but nothing that spiraled into full-blown drama the way the others did. And finally, we have Anthony Reeves, known online as Love Anthony. Like Quentin, Anthony wasn't as aggressively involved in the controversies, but his presence was still felt. His relationship with Ivani Gregg, a member of the Hype House, was frequently in the spotlight, and he was often seen as one of the more wholesome members. That said, he wasn't completely drama-free, nobody in Sway was. Even the quiet ones found themselves tangled in the house's chaotic energy eventually.
Just kind of clearing the air, the accusations of me being a cheater.
All in all, the Sway House was a group of very different personalities thrown into one very public, high-pressure environment. Now, before we go any further into breaking down the controversies of the Sway House, we think it's only fair to give some of you, especially those who might not be fully caught up, a quick introduction to the Hype House. And there's a very good reason for that. If you've been paying attention so far, you might have already noticed that there's a lot of crossovers between the two houses. And we're not just talking about a couple of collabs here and there. No, we're talking full-blown TikTok love triangles, messy breakups, exes hanging around the same kitchen, and friendships being tested left and right. So trust us when we say that being familiar with who's who in the Hype House will make the Sway House story so much juicier. The Hype House wasn't just a TikTok content house, it was the TikTok content house. Launched in December 2019, it was the glittery brainchild of Thomas Petrou and Chase Hudson, who basically looked around, saw a wave of viral teenagers and said, let's put them all under one roof and let the chaos unfold. And unfold it did. Over the entire course of its existence, we believe there were a total of 25 members in the Hype Houses. It was a revolving door of creators, but some of the most recognizable names to come out of it were Charlie D'Amelio, Dixie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Ivani Gregg, Nessa Barrett, and of course Chase himself. Basically, if you opened a TikTok in 2020 and saw someone on your For You page doing the renegade, odds are they were living in, visiting, or fighting with someone from the Hype House. But the Hype House wasn't just about dances, it was about influence. These creators were everywhere, launching brands, dating each other, breaking up, making vague tweets about each other, and in some cases, even getting Netflix deals. Now that you know all the members of the story, let's get down to the real tea. Let's start with the one relationship that practically defined early TikTok drama, Bryce Hall and Addison Rae. Now, this wasn't just your typical teen romance. This was the kind of on-again, off-again, we're just friends disaster that played out like a soap opera in 15-second clips. Bryce Hall, the loudest, most chaotic member of the Sway House, and Addison Rae, the golden girl of the Hype House, were first linked together in late 2019. Fans immediately became obsessed with their chemistry, and for good reason. They had all the elements of a TikTok power couple: flirty videos, dramatic tweets, subtweets, and the occasional vlog telling their side of the story.
At what point of all this did you meet Addison?
It was like 2019. She came over. Instantly, I felt the butterflies. I was like, hey, what's up, Shotty?
Is that really your first words to her?
No. I was like subliminally hitting on her.
And was she Addison at that time?
No.
Oh, she wasn't.
She got out of like a 5-year relationship, and I was like, okay, we don't have to rush into anything. We dated, and it was a 2-year process. It's awesome.
But here's the thing. They were never really official until they suddenly were, and then they weren't, and then they were again. Somewhere in between, there were cheating rumors, messy YouTube confessionals, and paparazzi videos of Bryce getting into fights. Addison, on the other hand, was often left cleaning up the mess with carefully worded Instagram stories and TikToks. Over time, there were multiple occasions where Addison, Ray, and Bryce were rumored to be involved with each other, but for some reason, they never really confirmed anything. Anytime Addison was questioned about Bryce, she'd either avoid giving a clear answer or simply insist they were just good friends.
We are just living life and experiencing things, and I don't know, I feel like, you know, you really just never know until you give things a shot. And I feel like there's a lot of things going on in both of our lives, but I think when we're ready, we'll both.
Whether they agreed or not, people knew that something was going on between those two. They were making content together consistently, even after she left the Hype House. We mean, just look at these two. We don't know how they can ever deny being romantically involved. But things soon took a very dark turn for Bryce when he was arrested for drug-related charges in May 2020. According to a news article, Bryce and fellow Sway House member Jaden Hostler were arrested for possession of marijuana while on a road trip in Texas. According to Insider, Bryce was charged with possession of less than 2 ounces of marijuana, which is punishable in Texas by up to 180 days in county jail or a fine of up to $2,000. Both Bryce and Jaden were released after posting a combined $11,500 bail. There were widespread rumors that when Bryce landed in jail, it was Addison who quietly helped him get out by paying his bail. Although Addison never publicly addressed these rumors, she also didn't deny it, which only fueled the speculation further. However, regardless of whether she actually bailed him out, it became pretty obvious around that time that something romantic was going on between them. Their relationship, or whatever it was, kept fans glued to their screens thanks to its roller coaster nature. The internet absolutely thrives on unpredictable, messy couples, and Bryce and Addison fit that description perfectly. As for Bryce himself, he first gained attention back in 2014 through his content on a now-defunct platform called Vine. Once that app faded out, he smoothly transitioned on TikTok, where his following exploded. Despite the growing closeness between him and Addison, Bryce kept brushing off questions about their relationship and repeatedly insisted they weren't together.
Yeah, I will definitely say she's the best girl that I've ever had.
On the other hand, Addison once replied no comments when she was asked the question by the paparazzi.
Are you guys back together? No comment?
No comment.
During an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Addison stated that she and Bryce were just friends and that she preferred to keep things that way for the time being.
No!
You think I'm cute? Yes or no? Yes?
Okay, we are just friends. So it kind of we actually met in October, and we started hanging out a lot. It was kind of like, we weren't even really friends, I would say. Like, we were just kind of around the same people a lot. More acquaintances, I guess you could say. And then later into like October, we ended up just hanging out a lot. And like when I was coming back and forth to LA, like I didn't live here. I was coming back for like Halloween and like my birthday and stuff like that. We kind of just started hanging out more. And then like once I moved here, we like started hanging out a lot. And then we got like super close, and like we were really, really, really good friends.
I want you to be mine again, baby.
No, we were talking and like kind of on and off, just like trying to figure things out. And like I'm also like I said, very new to this, and like he's been in this industry for a really long time. But you know, things happen, and then like we just decided like we're better off as friends for now, because like we both have like totally different I guess like lifestyles right now. Not necessarily just like apart from the social media, just kind of like we both are like looking to branch off to different things and like do different things. So I think right now we're just better off as friends, and like we both like mutually decided that. Like it was kind of just a thing that we were like, you know, we love each other so much, and like we love being around each other, and we're super good friends. So it's like I guess for now, it's just best that we stay that way, and like, you know, we support each other 100%.
However, at the same time, they were teasing the audience non-stop, leaning into each other and almost kissing on camera. After Bryce was released from jail, Addison's mom Sherry also made this one tweet saying, "Stand Bryce Hall for a clearer skin." This tweet came immediately after the drug incident, which made people speculate if she was supporting Bryce in all of this. Honestly speaking, we wouldn't really be surprised if she was, given how unpredictable Addison's mother really is. Those who know, know. However, we'll not get into that in today's video. For now, we want to focus on Bryce and Addison and their confusing relationship, along with other controversies surrounding the Sway house. We tried our best to put a timeline together of their relationship, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. They were basically acting like they were not dating, but doing all the couple things and teasing the audience with clickbait. However, their relationship finally came out, but not before they broke up once. What happened was that Josh and Bryce accused Charli D'Amelio's boyfriend Chase Hudson of cheating on his girlfriend and texting Josh's girlfriend Nessa Barrett. Yeah, it's like their very own teen influencer dating reality TV show. Huie was brought into the picture when Josh and Bryce made sort of a diss track on Huie called Still Softish.
Yo, Bryce, this man's tried to DM my girl, bro. He tried to her. Little hoodie or something. He's a waste man, bro. Bro, he wants to smoke, I guess. Wakanda King. Trying to with me. Trying to my girl. Like I couldn't see. Broken ass nose. Small, still kind of softish. Toxic. Act like you poppin'. Nope. Built like a chop.
Now we're going to switch from Bryce and Addison to Nessa and Josh real quick, because their relationship was exactly what started the entire beef between the Sway house and the Hype house. It turned out that Addison and Bryce weren't the only inner-house couple. Josh Richard, one of the founding members of the Sway house, also dated Nessa Barrett. Now, if you don't know anything about Nessa, she was also huge on TikTok. It actually went viral a while ago for throwing it back to the verses of Quran. So yeah, she wasn't exactly drama-free herself. Back when all this chaos unfolded, she was in a relationship with Josh Richards. In fact, the two had been together since 2019, long before the Sway house was even formed.
You think I'm cute? Yes or no? Yes?
Now, while we don't know the exact timeline of how everything went down, it seems pretty clear that Nessa and Josh broke up first, and whatever happened between her and Jaden came after that. It honestly doesn't look like her thing with Jaden was the reason for the breakup, but ironically enough, it's probably the reason why Nessa and Josh never got back together. So if you're clueless what we're talking about, Nessa and Josh posted this video on YouTube titled, "We Broke Up" on 19th of June 2020.
Alright, so how do you want to start it?
So basically, Josh broke up with me.
Awesome way to start it. Cool.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, did you do your makeup so that you stop yourself from crying? Because that's what you always used to say. That you would do
Actually,
your
at a
makeup
photo
so you
shoot
didn't.
that I stopped to come to this, so you're welcome.
We just felt like you guys deserve to know. We also didn't want, I guess, lies or rumors being spread, because the last thing I know personally is any of you guys to go and spread any hate on Nessa, because she's an amazing girl.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess that's the video. So now I gotta go kick Nessa out.
Sucks. I really packed my bags, thought I was staying the night.
I
mean, I could.
Are you gonna splash some tears on your face?
So in this video, they essentially shared their breakup announcement in a joint YouTube upload, where they claimed the decision was mutual. They explained that they had come to a point in their relationship where it made more sense to part ways and focus on personal growth and individual goals. However, they also said that despite going their separate ways, there were no hard feelings, and they still plan to remain friends moving forward. However, as you guys might have guessed by now, nothing like that happened, because things turned really messy. Now, this breakup video happened only 6 months after the Sway house started, and only a few months after the breakup, Nessa was linked with another guy. Enter Chase Hudson and Charli D'Amelio, aka the couple that Gen Z wanted to protect at all costs until everything exploded. They started dating when Charlie was still the fresh face of TikTok, and Chase was the soft boy poster child. Things were cute until they weren't. Allegations started swirling that Chase had slid into other girls' DMs, Nessa Barrett, and suddenly all of TikTok was in a full-blown civil war. So let us break it down for you guys. All of this drama started brewing around the summer of 2020, when rumors began circulating that Nessa and Lil Huie had kissed. Now, to be fair, Nessa was single at the time, so technically she didn't do anything wrong. However, before we jump to defend Nessa, let's take a step back and consider a few things. The thing with these 2020 TikTok couples is, was a breakup ever really a breakup? Just take Addison and Bryce, for example. They broke up a dozen times and always managed to find their way back to each other for some reason. And let's not forget that the infamous breakup video Nessa and Josh posted on YouTube wasn't exactly screaming, "We're done." If anything, it felt more like a soft launch for a reunion that was eventually about to happen.
All of Nessa's future boyfriends better know that I'm going to beat them up with this fucking bat right here.
I thought you were gonna hug me.
No, I am gonna actually bash their brains in with this bat.
If I'm like being honest, I kind of like just started social media since I've been with Josh. There was a lot of things that I had to learn during like the process of me.
We mean they were giving each other flirty eyes, being weirdly romantic for people who just ended things, and left fans with more questions than closure. Honestly, with how often these TikTok relationships bounced back, it wouldn't have been surprising if they patched things up again. So before we confidently say that Nessa and Josh were officially broken up when the kiss with Lil Huie happened, we need to take all this ambiguity into account. Nothing was ever black and white in the TikTok universe, especially not when it came to relationships. However, the real issue is that Lil Huie was still publicly linked to Charli D'Amelio. Although he later claimed he was single when the kiss happened, fans were quick to point out the suspicious timing and started piecing together a very messy timeline. Nessa herself commented on the situation. She said in a statement to People, "Yes, Chase kissed me and nothing else happened after that. I can speak for the both of us that it didn't mean anything." So let's rewind a little bit. The diss track that we mentioned earlier in the video happened around this time. We also saw in some videos online that the diss track was released after Nessa and Josh broke up. However, the diss track actually came out in March 2020, while Josh and Nessa's breakup video wasn't posted until June. So it's unlikely the track was about the kiss itself. Instead, it was probably aimed at the growing rumors about Nessa and Lil Huie that were already circulating while she was still with Josh. That's what makes the situation messy. Because if those rumors had any truth to them, whatever was happening between Nessa and Lil Huie may have started before the breakup. Anyways, regardless of whether the diss track was about the kiss or not, this seemed to really piss Huie off because right after that, he posted a tweet exposing Sway House boys of cheating on their girls. Yeah, he did a complete Uno reverse on these guys. He said in his tweet, "Since all my drama has to be put on the internet for the world to judge me, let's lay out everyone else's." Anthony got with Cynthia a week after we broke up on tour. Jaden actively tried to hook up with Dixie at her house on the 4th of July in front of me while she was dating Griffin. Griffin cheated on Dixie with Taylor's ex Kaylin and Bryce's ex Ellie. Jaden and Josh cheated endless amounts of times on Mads and Nessa for the past few months. Keo cheated on Olivia. The only person who has a right to be upset with me is Charlie, and I'm sorry I hurt her. We broke up and I messed up by kissing Nessa. I'm not sorry to Josh. We are not boys and we haven't been boys since he lied to Charlie saying I had an STD 6 months ago, trying to get her to stop seeing me. I'm not going to let these hypocrites try and ruin my life without their lives being out on the internet too. Wow, damn, that was a lot. Now, since we're juggling multiple stories together, we'd like to get back to the Bryce Hall relationship situation before we talk about this mess. Because trust us, it's gonna take a big chunk of this video to cover everything. While we don't see any mention of Bryce in this particular tweet, something definitely happened after this post, because right after this happened, Addison archived all of her posts with Bryce, hinting the end of their secret but not so secret romance. But then they posted a video together titled "The Truth About Us." In this video, both Bryce and Addison kissed on camera and admitted that they were together. They also admitted that it was the second time they've been dating.
It is true. I know I denied that. But we did date for 3 days one time, and then I broke up with him. After Bryce's little mishap, then we started talking every day and hanging out again. We ended things again talking after his birthday. I didn't say a word to you, remember?
Yeah.
And then we saw each other at places and I would not talk to you. After that, after the birthday scandal, then he bought me a gift and wrote me a letter for my birthday, and it was really sweet. And we were hanging out every single day. He asked me out October 13th to be his girlfriend.
So this is our second time, and it's been more than 3 days.
This is our second time dating ever.
So it's kind of successful because it's been more than 3 days.
So we've been dating for like almost 2 months.
I guess that answers the last question. Are you dating?
Yeah, so we are dating, and we've been dating since October 13th. We're dating officially, and this is going to be really interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah, remember though, our designated breakup date is December 3rd,
so
according to Addison's inside management.
But yeah, so we're going to see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean December 3rd.
Until December 3rd.
It's absurd how they are literally giving each other a deadline. It's almost like they're precogging their breakup. However, like we said earlier, it's just entertaining for the audience to watch, the constant up and down and the drama that comes with it. Also, spoiler alert, they didn't last till December because they broke in March 2021, after Bryce went to Las Vegas and allegedly cheated on her. It was a very drawn-out and weird breakup, which left people speculating for a long time if they were going to get back together. Bryce made a video about it in which he confirmed that he and Addison had split up. However, he denied that he ever cheated on Addison.
So there's a few things that I want to address. One being, yes, Addison and I are broken up. I don't want to talk about specific reasons because that's our private business. I wanted to keep everything off of social media in the first place, but obviously that didn't work at all. I think everybody has their own perception and idea of why we broke up. I'll tell you right now, that's not true at all. And that will lead me right into the next thing I want to talk about. The cheating allegations. I already spoke up on Twitter about it. I said I didn't cheat on Addison, and I stand by that. I never cheated on Addison. Addison and I broke up around a month ago, and we kept everything semi-private on social media, but now that it's out, I guess this is me just kind of confirming, yes, we are broken up. We've been broken up for the past month. Both of us are going through a shit ton of things right now behind the scenes that we don't necessarily comfortably want to talk about.
And with this, we put a full stop to the Bryce Hall relationship. But don't worry, he is the main character of the Sway House drama, and he's gonna make a comeback to the story soon enough. Although his name wasn't mentioned in Huie's list, this still doesn't make him any better. In fact, this appears to be the theme with all of the Sway House boys. They just like to present themselves as these hot playboys who don't really care, and they could get anyone and whoever they wanted because they had good bodies and followers on TikTok, which was unfortunately not entirely false. It was just sad to see what these people reduced relationships to. There was absolutely no trust or loyalty in any of these relationships of Sway boys. And again, it's sad to see that the kids of the 2020 era were probably growing up seeing this, that this was a normal thing to do in relationships. Honestly speaking, it was disgusting and disappointing, but enough yapping, let's get back to the topic. So after Huie posted that tweet exposing every Sway boy, Charlie reposted and replied to his tweet saying, "Stop deflecting your actions onto others because you can't take responsibility, Chase. Want me to talk about how you treated me throughout our relationship, or do you just want to continue to play the victim?" Chase posted another tweet claiming that he was single when the kiss happened. He wrote, "All of this drama going on is because I kissed Nessa when we were both single." Charlie then replied to this tweet as well, saying, "Then you shouldn't have come to my house after without telling me." So apparently Chase kissed Nessa while he and Charlie were broken up, but then went to Charlie's house right after without even telling her. Now, we're not sure what to call this exactly, but it feels like borderline cheating. Like, why would you kiss someone else if you're planning to get back with your ex? Honestly, if you thought that was messy, just wait. Around April 2021, rumors started flying that Nessa was either trying to date or already dating another Sway House boy. And not just any boy, her ex, Josh's best friend Jaden. Now here's where it all really turns into a tangled mess. Around March 2021, Jaden was still very publicly dating Mads Lewis. But then fans noticed something strange. Mads had deleted all of her pictures with Jaden and unfollowed both him and Nessa from her account. Naturally, this set off a wave of speculation about what was really going on between the three. But people didn't have to wonder for long. Mads soon posted a now deleted TikTok featuring Taylor Swift's Better Than Revenge playing in the background. And yes, it showed Nessa's face as the lyrics blasted, "She took him faster than you can say sabotage."
The story starts when it was hot and it was summer and I had it all, I had him right there where I wanted him. She came along, got him alone, and let's hear the applause. She took him faster than you could say sabotage.
Now, Josh actually talked about this situation a bit on the BFFs podcast. He basically said that he'll always be the type of guy who wants to believe his best friend over what he called some crazy ex. He also confirmed that Mads and Jaden had obviously broken up, but he doesn't believe what Mads was saying about Nessa and Jaden. Mostly because, according to him, Mads apparently doesn't like Nessa very much.
I'm always gonna be that guy that wants to believe my best friend, right? I'm never gonna be like, oh, okay, cause his ex said something, that means it's for sure, cause exes do crazy ass shit. So, kept that in my head, but also you just a guy gets jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, I fucking love Jaden. I know he wouldn't do anything, but seeing this video, I'm kind of sitting there and I'm like, first thing, I'm just sad. I was low key pretty sad. I think I almost shed a tear. And then the second thing that happened, probably second thing I thought was these motherfuckers are about to breed a demon. I'm gonna be heartless after this. If this actually girls ask why there's boys, boom, here's the answer. Right here. These are the scenarios that breed boys.
It was already bad enough that Nessa started dating Josh's best friend and that the two of them hid it from him. But the truly sad part is that the entire time, Josh thought that he and Nessa were just on a break. Honestly, the whole situation was incredibly messy. For the longest time, Jaden and Nessa didn't even admit they had hooked up. However, Mads revealed on the Call Her Daddy podcast that Jaden had actually admitted to liking Nessa. Another thing that really struck people as odd and honestly pretty cold was how unbothered both Jaden and Nessa seemed by the entire situation. Jaden didn't comment on it for a very long time, and when Nessa finally did speak up, she made a tweet that completely victimized herself, as if she were the one who had been wronged. She said in her tweet, "I have been through so much recently. I've broken down completely 2 weeks ago, and have nearly done something that is irreversible. I got up and decided to release all of the negatives in my life. I'm not in a place to entertain those full of hatred and lies." However, despite all of this, Nessa and Jaden took their relationship public when they collaborated on a song together called La Di Di.
Gonna be a rock star, yeah. Told her I don't want a war, yeah.
Not only this, but they apparently got matching tattoos together. After this, the backlash against Nessa Baird and Jaden Hostler's relationship was intense, especially online. Many fans and followers took to Reddit to voice their anger, confusion, and disappointment over how things unfolded. On several threads, users criticized the duo for being inconsiderate of Josh. One user said the whole thing felt like a real-life soap opera, while another commented that it was honestly disgusting how they hid it and then acted like victims. One commenter on Reddit said, "I was on Mad's side the entire time and still am. It disgusted me. People were reacting like she was doing too much and that she can't be heard about the situation, all because Nessa was the popular one at the time, lol." Another user replied saying, "I agree that if you had to pick a side, it should be Mad's, because Nessa was clearly 100% in the wrong. Though it's always fascinating that the woman gets more flack than the man, but to be fair, she was doing too much. Making cringy TikTok edits of Nessa and Jaden, and telling the paparazzi that she wanted to fight her was such childish behavior, and you can't deny that. She had every right to feel the way she did. The better revenge would have been handling the trauma in private." Another interesting point that came up on Reddit was how many people believe Jaden and Nessa caused a lot of unnecessary emotional damage, particularly to Josh. For those who followed him, you know that Josh had a best friend named Cooper who tragically passed away from an overdose. That event alone seemed to deeply alter Josh's perspective on life. He began distancing himself from the whole Sway Boy scene, becoming noticeably more introspective and low-key. What's even more surprising is that there's a video circulating on Reddit where Cooper allegedly says that he kind of knew something would eventually happen between Nessa and Jaden. This adds another unsettling layer. implying that the relationship may not have been as sudden or innocent as it was portrayed. Even more heartbreaking is the fact that Josh and Cooper apparently stopped talking for almost 9 months after the Nessa thing happened.
Oh, you said you became best friends with Jaden, right?
Yeah,
Does that mean when the Jaden Nessa shit happened, you two, Josh, you and Cooper stopped talking?
Yep. Fully.
Yeah.
Like nine months of no communication at all. Like not even like a hi, not even a how are you.
Did you try to talk to Josh, or did you like cut Josh off? He cut you off.
He cut me off, and I knew what I did, and I just didn't want to hurt him, anymore. So I stopped. I felt I get emotional. I'm a sensitive guy, by the way. I felt very in a moral gray area at the time.
Right, yeah.
So I was like...
You see the train before it crashed, you're like, this is...
Yeah, I did.
You knew shit's going on, and like, eventually it was going to come to some sort of conclusion one way or the other?
Yeah, I knew that. I mean, for the whole entire situation, yeah, I knew. Up,
didn't even tell me. Kind of messed up.
Exactly why he didn't talk to me for 9 months.
So, according to what we've figured out, Cooper and Josh stopped talking for this very reason, that Cooper knew what was going on and still decided to hide it from Josh, which is why Josh cut him off. And the fact that Cooper died not long after makes the situation even worse. A lot of people feel like so much trauma and unresolved emotions came out because of how Nessa and Jaden behaved. Like they didn't care about the consequences or how their actions affected others. Even after everything that happened, Jaden ended up cheating on Nessa with another girl named Josie.
Landon Barker, Travis Barker's son, unfollowed Jaden and Josie Canseco, who is rumored to be Landon's girl, and now people theorizing that Jaden may have cheated with Josie.
I think that could be a possibility.
You think so?
They know what they're doing when they unfollow people.
The unfollow in social media, that's pretty much everything.
It's a shot.
If you had to gun to head, would you believe this rumor?
I think there's something going on because we reached out to him.
To who?
Landon Barker. And say, like, do you want to come on, set the record straight? And he said, I might be open to the idea. I'll let you guys know the next day or so. This is last night when the stuff broke. So the fact that he's answering, like, open to the idea, like, there is something to set the record straight on, makes me think there's something there.
Isn't Barker connected to Jaden?
Well, that's why I think it's a big deal.
So there's got to be something there.
Would Josie answer? Josie may just answer.
And not only that, this whole situation dragged yet another person into the mess, Landon Barker. Apparently, Josie had also been dating Landon around the same time, and when rumors started swirling about her and Jaden being together, Landon unfollowed both of them on social media. It didn't take long before people connected the dots.
So there was a rumor going around that the reason that Jaden and Nessa broke up was because Jaden cheated on Nessa with Josie Canseco. And it all kind of tied in because Josie was apparently hanging out with Landon Barker. And then Landon unfollowed Josie and Jaden and didn't unfollow Nessa. And even hanging out together. They were talking about it on the BFFs podcast. Josie commented and goes, I've never in my entire life ever come close to touching Jaden, nor am I at all why they split. This rumor needs to stop here now, hella childish.
It's almost like there's always another girl when it comes to the Sway Boys. That's been the running theme from the start. Whether it's breakups, cheating scandals, or messy love triangles, there always seems to be someone waiting in the wings. And it's part of what makes that whole era so chaotic and emotionally draining for everyone involved. However, by mid-2021, most of these couples were long gone. Addison was off doing movies and hanging out with the Kardashians.
So I'm freaking out a little bit because today Addison is going to teach me a TikTok dance. Try to push down as far as you can. Okay, yeah. What? You better work, Kimberly. I can't get down like you.
Charlie had moved on, and so had her eyebrow shape.
I literally almost had a mental breakdown. I shaved this entire part of my eyebrow.
And Bryce, still beefing with people on Twitter and trying to box TikTokers into irrelevance.
He makes his highly anticipated BKFC debut. Here is the popular TikTok and YouTube star, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, Bryce.
But these relationships mattered, not because they were healthy or long-lasting, but because they were the engine behind a lot of this Sway versus hype chaos. The romance was messy, the breakups were even messier, and fans were hooked on every minute of it like it was the TikTok version of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And that, my friends, is how a couple of 19-year-olds with ring lights and trust issues created an entire era of internet drama. However, with all that said, let's shift gears from the relationship drama and talk about some of the other major factors that truly led to the downfall of the Sway House, starting with the wild parties, the COVID controversies, and most importantly, their complete disregard for COVID-19 SOPs and social distancing during the height of the pandemic. These weren't just minor slip-ups, they became massive public scandals that drew backlash from all sides and seriously damaged their reputation. So during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, Saddle Ranch Chop House, a popular West Hollywood bar and restaurant, became the unofficial hangout spot for TikTok influencers, especially members of the Sway House and Hype House. Despite strict public health orders in Los Angeles, creators like Bryce Hall, Noah Beck, Blake Gray, and others were repeatedly seen dining, drinking, and mingling there without masks or social distancing. This situation sparked major backlash, as videos surfaced online showing crowds of fans gathering outside the venue, trying to get photos with their favorite creators, completely ignoring social distancing protocols.
1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell them bring another round, we need plenty more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my, good Lord. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey.
In October 2020, while the world was grappling with the devastating effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, a group of influencers gathered at Saddle Ranch in Los Angeles to throw a large Halloween party, despite strict lockdown measures still being in place. This wasn't just any ordinary time. Hospitals were overwhelmed, healthcare workers were stretched thin, and countless lives were being lost daily. At a time when people were being urged to stay home and follow safety protocols, these influencers chose to ignore the reality and hold a party as if none of it mattered. Among those spotted at the event were Addison Rae, Bryce Hall, and other members of the Sway House. Their actions quickly sparked outrage online. Even Ariana Grande spoke out, criticizing influencers for prioritizing parties over public safety.
Of all the things that we couldn't we have just stayed at home for a few more weeks like all the other countries that were fine and are better than we are? Like, did we really all need to go to Saddle Ranch that badly that like we couldn't have waited for the deathly pandemic to pass? Like, we all really needed to put on our cowgirl boots and...
However, according to Bryce, Ariana only called the group out for attention and publicity, and he also believes it was very unnecessary. While speaking on the Hollywood Raw podcast, Bryce claimed that Ariana was only dissing the influencers as a marketing stunt. To quote an E! News article, he speculated as to why the Ariana zeroed in on TikTokers, because she knew that TikTokers have like a high audience. She knew a lot of people would agree, because there's a lot of people that hate TikTokers especially, the 21-year-old said. I mean, it was obviously like a marketing move and good for her, but like she's not wrong. However, Bryce acknowledged he didn't have much of a defense against Ari's claims. He explained, "What's a TikToker gonna say? F you, Ariana? I'm not going to say that. Everyone is like, you're right." Honestly speaking, the whole situation was disappointing. These weren't clueless kids, they were adults with massive platforms and influence. Instead of setting a positive example or using their reach to promote health guidelines, they sent a dangerous message to their audiences that partying during a global health crisis was acceptable. But this wasn't the only incident either. There was also Bryce Hall's 21st birthday party, which had nearly 100 people in attendance. Once again, Bryce tried to play it off as a small hangout that got blown out of proportion, but that was always the intention. You can find plenty of clips from the party online showing them dancing, even stripping, and completely ignoring social distancing.
This is nowhere near the beginning. This is about to get so crazy. I appreciate all of you guys for coming out tonight. I turned 21.
However, the party was eventually shut down by the LAPD, and even the mayor of Los Angeles had to release a public statement addressing the issue. He explained that these parties had continued despite several warnings, which is why the authorities decided to cut off utilities to the house in an effort to stop the gatherings.
The party may be over for TikTok star Bryce Hall. At least it's run out of juice. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti ordered the power to be turned off at the Hollywood Hills residence where Hall lives. The shutdown came after reports of numerous large parties at the home. Those gatherings violated measures designed to stem the spread of the coronavirus. Garcetti released a statement that said in part, despite several warnings, this house has turned into a nightclub in the hills, hosting large gatherings in flagrant violation of our public health orders. The city has now disconnected utilities at this home to stop these parties that endanger our community.
As expected, a lot of people online were mad about it. One user tweeted, "I say everyone unfollows every single influencer that attended Bryce Hall's birthday party. These selfish, ignorant, narcissistic pricks never deserved a platform in the first place. All they influence is that it's okay to party during a pandemic. Get a grip." However, this is not even the worst of Bryce Hall. If we had to list all the things he's done so far, we'd have to make another separate video on him. What we'd like to mention here is something related to Addison that we did not mention before. So after the major wave of TikTok drama that hit the internet in July 2020, many fans assumed things would calm down. But in true TikTok fashion, the chaos was far from over. Just a few weeks later, things escalated again, this time involving Addison Rae, Bryce Hall, and a girl named Eliza Minor. Now, even though the two broke up, Addison and Bryce had a complicated relationship at the time. They were no longer officially together, but in early August 2020, Bryce publicly announced that he and Addison were testing the waters again. This gave fans hope that the couple, often referred to as Bradison, might be rekindling their romance. But almost immediately after that statement, new footage surfaced online that turned everything upside down. A video began circulating of a party at the Sway house where Bryce was seen with a girl dancing on his lap. That girl was not Addison. Fans quickly put their detective skills to use and identified her as Eliza Minor, a former Miss North Carolina Teen USA winner and rising influencer.
Now make that.
The video spread like wildfire, and people flooded social media with speculation, assumptions, and plenty of criticism. Shortly afterward, Addison posted a series of cozy, seemingly flirty pictures with Bryce on Instagram. However, not long after posting them, she took the photos down without explanation. The move raised eyebrows and sent fans into another spiral of confusion. When approached by paparazzi, Bryce claimed he had no idea why Addison deleted the pictures. Guess what? The paparazzi and Bryce ran into Addison that exact moment, and when he asked Addison why he deleted the pictures, she simply said, "A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta." Bryce Hall's most talked about recent controversies was his restaurant brawl in October 2020. The incident took place at Los Angeles eatery where Bryce, along with a few friends, got into a heated altercation with the restaurant staff. According to reports and viral footage, things escalated quickly. Shouting turned into shoving, and it didn't take long for punches to be thrown.
Stop. Okay, you wanna stop? Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Relax.
Oh my god.
Relax, man.
The whole thing was caught on camera, sparking outrage online. We don't know the details of what exactly happened, but it seems like the restaurant staff asked him to stop vaping. The staff member claims that Bryce quickly became aggressive and started getting racist. The restaurant's co-owner, Hernan Fernando, was injured and later sued Hall for assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, alleging racial slurs and threats were used during the altercation. Now, before we finally touch on the eventual downfall of the group, let us touch a little bit on the feud between the Hype House and the Sway House. So after the drama with Chase died down, it looked like things were patched up between the Sway House and Hype House. The two groups started pulling off big pranks together, and even sparked rumors of a joint house called the Swipe House, just to mess with fans.
That is official, Paul. Reel it in, right? Word? Okay. It's me and my friend. Come on. Right. Walk it in. Walk it out. Get out.
They made their collaboration official with a video in June 2020, and Bryce jokingly tweeted that he had joined the Hype House.
what I doing then? Chasing you like a shot of whiskey, burning, going down, chasing you like those goodbye tears.
Even though he wasn't serious, it was clear there were no lingering tensions. Bryce even teamed up with Ryland, showing that the two sides had moved past their earlier feud. However, it didn't last very long. According to a J14 article, the founders of both houses, Thomas and Bryce, got embroiled in major feud once again. After they ensured fans there was no more drama between them back in June. This time it started after Bryce claimed the Hype House was full of lies and content on Twitter. Thomas replied to Bryce talking about his squad with, "Kids' content is literally only talking about us at this point." Then Bryce told Thomas to stay in your lane, which resulted in the two going back and forth on social media. Eventually, Thomas brought up Bryce's arrest from May 2020. Days later, when talking to the paparazzi, the Hype House founder explained why he stopped acknowledging Bryce's tweets and said, "I was just a little tired to waking up to TikTok room with someone talking every day that I thought was my friend." Thomas also revealed that he wanted to fight the Sway House boys off camera. But then Bryce Hall responded with this video, basically challenging Thomas to a boxing match.
Thomas Petrou, what the are you doing, dude? So if you guys aren't hip, a couple days ago, Hollywood Fix came up to me at Saddle Ranch after I was done eating and I was pulling away. He asked me a pretty general question.
What's going on with the Hype House content, man? You saying it's all fake?
Hype House content is all fake. Did I lie? Their content's fake. Everything that they do is fake. It's all content. They're filling pools up with balls. Like, what kind of content is that? No way! Holy!
Honestly speaking, Bryce Hall's boxing career is one of the most surprising and chaotic plot twists in the TikTok to influencer pipeline. Known originally for his bad boy antics, shirtless thirst traps, and drama-filled tenure in the Sway House, Bryce decided to trade TikTok beef for actual fists by entering the influencer boxing scene. His boxing debut came in June 2021 during the highly publicized YouTubers vs. TikTokers event, where he faced off against YouTuber Austin McBroom. Bryce talked a lot of smack leading up to the fight, going as far as saying he was going to knock him out in the first round. Unfortunately for him, the only thing that got knocked out was his ego. Austin McBroom dominated the match, winning by TKO in the third round, while Bryce famously claimed, "I'm not a boxer," after spending months insisting that he was.
You could see in the first round, as soon as he started clenching that arm right at the beginning, there was a...
Honestly, that was rigged. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter. I'm gonna knock out Austin because I'm an actual fighter.
But surprisingly, Bryce didn't give up. He kept training and made a comeback in April 2023 in a fight against fellow creator G. Perez in the undercard of the Misfits boxing event. This time, Bryce actually won, earning his first victory in the ring and some respect from fans and haters alike. People who once clowned him for getting folded now started to say he might actually have potential in the sport.
Goes immediately to the outside. Circling out to the inside. Shows it! Down goes G. Perez on the right hand.
That first punch, wow! That was a wake-up call for Perez, maybe. Let's see what happened. But that just really...
Since then, Bryce has been leaning into the boxing persona, posting training clips, hyping up potential matchups, and even teasing future bouts. Whether he's in the ring or on Twitter starting beef, one thing is certain: Bryce Hall knows how to keep himself relevant, with or without a bloody nose. However, by this time, the Sway House had already dissolved. At its peak, the Sway House was a content powerhouse. But behind the viral videos were cracks forming early on. One major source of tension was Talent X, the management company behind the boys. Creative differences and clashing egos led to disagreements, with some members feeling stifled by the agency's direction. Rather than just being influencers, the boys wanted to be entrepreneurs. Bryce Hall and Josh Richards co-founded Annie Energy, launching their own energy drink brand. This marked the beginning of the end. Members started focusing on building individual empires instead of the group. Josh eventually stepped away from TikTok content, turning his attention to the BFFs podcast with Barstool Sports. As individual brands grew, the house lost its core identity. Without a shared vision or real cohesion, Sway became more of a label than a collective. Ultimately, their meteoric rise came faster than most could handle. Fame outpaced maturity, and without strong guidance or unity, Sway House crumbled, leaving behind solo stars, business ventures, and a reminder that not every content house is built to last. The first ones to leave were Josh and Jaden. Following their exit, the group split into smaller factions, with Griggs and Johnson forming Sway Gaming, while Hall, Gray, and Beck remained the primary faces of the original Sway House. It was also through Sway Gaming that the group ventured into producing interactive games, including a story-based game series similar to the popular narrative-style games often seen online. These games allowed fans to engage with fictionalized versions of the Sway members, making choices that affected the storyline. But honestly, it was cringe and got made fun of a lot for obvious reasons.
Looks like I'll be talking to her first.
No way, bro. That was a tie.
Okay, pretty awesome transition with the water.
The trio later moved into an 8,500 square foot rented mansion to continue producing content. In August 2020, the Los Angeles City Council shut power off to their house, citing the violation of COVID-19 safety guidelines after Hull hosted a party during the pandemic. Although Michael Gruen confirmed to People in February 2021 that Sway House was officially dissolved, saying, "If you view Sway as a content collective that lives together and is with each other every day, then yes, it's over." Johnson later revealed that the group had actually separated back in December 2020. However, even after the disbandment, many of the boys continued living together and collaborating on content, though they no longer referred to themselves formally as Sway. During this time, the Sway brand continued to be used for various business ventures, including Sway Fitness, a workout supplement brand. Also, it came across some clips of The Sway Life, a Facebook reality show that premiered on March 29th, 2021. And honestly speaking, we think it'd be safe to say that this show was a complete failure.
No, everyone in Sway is taken, except for these two losers.
Let's get these guys some girlfriends.
I'm scared.
I feel different!
At the end of the day, you just gotta stop worrying about what people think about you.
It's living on the inside.
We wanted to make a docu-series following us along on our journey and showing you what the Sway life really is like.
It's a little creepy, I'm not gonna lie.
Don't be such a wussball.
We do the same stuff as a college fraternity.
At the end of the day, the rise and fall of the Sway House feels like a cautionary tale in the age of influencer fame, where a group of teenage boys can go from dancing in their bedrooms to singing million-dollar brand deals, only to burn out just as fast. On paper, Sway House had everything: charisma, controversy, and content. But behind the viral videos and frat house energy was something a lot less sustainable. One of the biggest reasons the house fell apart was ego. These weren't just random teens making TikToks together. They were becoming celebrities fast. And with that kind of overnight fame comes pressure, competition, and inevitable clashes. Every member had their own fan base, their own opportunities, their own ambitions. At some point, it stopped being about Sway and started being about the individuals. Josh Richards was launching a podcast and dabbling in entrepreneurship. Bryce Hall was throwing parties and training for boxing matches. Jaden Hostler was turning into a rock star, and Noah Beck quietly pivoted into modeling and mainstream appearances. Everybody was doing their own thing, and there wasn't anyone guiding them with a bigger vision. No manager, no creative director, no adult in the room. The lack of leadership meant there was no one holding it all together. They had no shared strategy or mission beyond make content, go viral, get views. That worked for a while, but fame without structure is a shaky foundation. Sway quickly gained a reputation for being the wild house, the place where rules didn't matter. That party-first culture may have looked cool from the outside, but it made the group unmanageable. They were constantly in the headlines for throwing ragers, violating COVID protocols, and beefing with other influencers. In simple words, what started as clout turned into chaos. Eventually, all that drama began to wear thin with the public. Fans who once loved the antics grew tired of the non-stop scandals. The novelty wore off, the cracks became obvious, and instead of addressing them, Sway kind of just faded. There was no formal goodbye, no official statement. The group didn't disband with a bang, it fizzled out with a shrug. By late 2020, it was over, but no one said it out loud. In later interviews, some of the members admitted it just fell apart on its own.
I screwed up a big deal for the Sway boys. Me, Josh, and Jaden and Blake got arrested for weed. That screwed a deal that was like a multi-million-dollar deal for a lot of the guys that were in Sway. After the arrest, Michael Gruen kind of like screwed me over and like said it was all my fault.
Michael Gruen was your former manager, but you weren't the only one arrested, right?
If you like people knew the real story of that night.
What's the real story of that night?
Screw it, it's been 2 years. I took the blame for the weed, even though I don't smoke weed.
However, from public eye, it wasn't just a single incident that led to the downfall. It was a series of moments that snowballed over time, gradually pulling the Sway House into its own collapse. It was more like they stopped calling themselves the Sway House, even though many of them still lived together in the same mansion for a while. That awkward in-between stage was even weirder because technically the Sway Boys brand was owned by Triller. The house wasn't just a casual hangout, it was part of a business venture. And even when they weren't calling themselves Sway anymore, Triller still had a grip on the brand. Some members went their separate ways completely. Jaden focused on his music career, which has grown well beyond TikTok fame. Griffin Johnson dipped into acting and music. Quentin Griggs quietly exited the drama scene altogether. Bryce is still doing influencer boxing and making content, but it's more solo now. Josh is fully in his BFF's podcast era, building his empire. Noah Beck keeps things low-key, modeling and appearing in high-profile campaigns while mostly staying away from the mess. Looking back, the Sway House was never really built to last. It wasn't designed for longevity, growth, or structure. It was lightning in a bottle, raw, chaotic, and incredibly influential for a brief window of time. But fame that intense, that fast, doesn't come without consequences. And in the end, the Sway Boys burned bright, but not for long. With that, we'd like to wrap up today's video. If you've made it this far, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. While you're at it, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts on the downfall of the Sway House, the endless scandals, the intense infighting, and all the drama in between. Do you think any of it was genuine, or was it just a clout-chasing circus? And if it was real, was it healthy, or even something that should have helped launch their careers the way it did? Let us know what you think.